ready, brother? Show me the money.
Oh, you didn't know?
Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
You put my shoes on, you wouldn't last a mile. Summertime, wintertime, I'm on the grind. I got the ring, I'm the champ, I'm the genie of the lamp.
This is the gift I was given, so I just live by my hustle.
Give me put in my pocket, it don't make sense, but don't make a profit. So I hustle, ladies and homies. Make money, money.
All out here for a pill. Really tryna get this money for the real.
I want to find the things in my life, so I hustle.
It ain't over for me, no, it ain't over for me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Show me the money!
Okay, let's go smoke that joint.
What up? What up? It is Alex, the Fantasy Football Hustler, back at you. We got another episode of Elevated Sports Talk Wednesday. It is all about talking about the starts and sits in all groups up in here. As soon as we get started, Tuesday and Wednesdays, we get started a little bit earlier because long shows, we got a lot to cover. And today, we're going to get into everything a lot quicker than we did last week. Last week, I probably bullshitted for maybe like an hour before we started. I'm bullshit for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to jump into this. Infinite, what up? I see you rocking the Ninja Turtles today. Come on, man. We got to get crazy on this Wednesday. We got to get ready for the week, man. So sometimes you need some turtle power to help you get there. And let's see if we can get there. Said, let me roll up and smoke with you. Let's go, bro. Let's smoke it up.
Smoke weed every day. All right. Fire 'em up.
Man, ain't nothing wrong with smoking weed. Weed is from the earth. God put this here for me and you. Take advantage, man.
John upset. Wasn't sure since it should be a win for the 49ers. Man, I'm just saying, shouldn't last week have been a win for the 49ers? Like 49ers, they're not going to be this team that they were last year and the year before. All these injuries, man, they are totally like, this is like, I don't think they've had a year like this where they've been like hella cursed since COVID. And it's funny, I'm pretty sure that the last time that they made the Super Bowl and lost, their curse was the next year. It's like Shanahan sold his soul to get to the Super Bowl, but then they lost. And then their whole next year is just fucked. Same thing, man. Same thing. Hey, Mike said cowabunga. Let's get it, brother. Let's get it. Man, see, I went and got some shirts at where the hell are we at? The Burlington Coat Factory. Man, they always have some cool shirts that us 30 and 40-year-olds fucking love getting, always bringing back the nostalgia. Tyreek gonna get over 1,000 yards this season? Yeah. Super easy to get 1,000 yards, man. 58 yards a game on average. Tyreek's the type of guy, one game for 200, that's like 3 games in one, so like that could happen. Has it happened yet? Of course it hasn't. But Tua, we know he's on IR, but he said he's not going to retire. And I think he's only going to miss those 4 weeks. Like there's so much money like on the line for him. I think he only misses those 4 weeks. Can Skyler play? I don't really think it's about Skyler because can he play? Like he can play good enough for like someone who like we never want him to play. Like is that a fair way of saying it? This is going to be more about Mike McDaniels. Like how is he going to scheme Tyreek? Because if he schemes Tyreek the exact same way as he was scheming Tyreek with Tua, it's going to be bad. But if they start getting, him the ball, little end arounds, wide receiver screens, just types of things like that, where you just get the ball in his hands quicker. I mean, shit, he's the fastest guy on the planet. Like he'll be able to fucking catch a ball and run for 5'10" and get up to 60 yards like relatively easily. It's just, probably not going to see these 150, 200-yard games unless they give it to him so much, and he's just so fast that he burns everybody. So, like, it could happen. It could happen. What up, Joe? Said, thoughts on dropping Ridley for Higgins. I mean, is that the only person that you can drop? You don't have anybody else? Like, literally nobody else? Would I start X every week?
X gon' give it to you.
No, because he doesn't get that many touches. So, like, I don't think he's a every week, starter just yet. What up, Tim? My bad. I totally didn't read the second part of your question because I remember this. Drop Chuba versus Zamir White. Probably. I mean, I'm not super excited about Zamir White, but they got the Panthers this week, and the Panthers, they've been bad against the run. So I would do that because I really feel like Chuba sucks anyways, and the Panthers just suck, even though they should be a little bit better with Dalton coming back. Hey, shout out to our man Stranger. He said, I'm late, but YouTube still hasn't notified me. Motherfucker, fucking YouTube. It's because it's early, man. It's super early. Only 7 o'clock on the West Coast right now. We got a lot of games to talk about. Hope you guys are ready. Because, literally this week we are not waiting as long as I did last week to get started. Smoking like one more bowl and then we're going to start this. What the hell? And Joe said A.J. Brown, Rice, Monroe, St. Brown, Shaheed are other wide receivers, positional limits. I hate leagues with positional limits. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know Shaheed's been doing like real good, but how long can this like seriously keep up with Shaheed? That's the thing that I don't know. Infinite, what's up with that Green Bay backfield? Josh Jacobs, man. Josh Jacobs. Everyone else is going to be an afterthought over there. All right. Let's get it. Yep. One more bowl, and then let's kick off the old ins and outs. All right, you got everything pulled up and ready. There we go. Hey. Shout out to Vanessa becoming a YouTube member again. We appreciate you. We're back. Appreciate you. Good stuff. So we're going to do another bowl for that. Shout out to Vanessa. Appreciate you, homegirl. And if you have any questions or anything, Vanessa, go ahead and throw them in. I'll be answering questions in between all the starts and sits as well. But if you guys remember the way that I did the starts and sits last week, I'm gonna have a screen pull up where I pretty much have every single player like on the team offensive wise like there. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the relevant players, whether I think you should start, whether I think you should sit, and then kind of little thoughts on everybody. Ghost Monkey, what up, bro? Yeah, Ghost Monkey here early, 7:30 on the West Coast. Let's go. Vanessa, would you drop Watson for Johnston? Is that the only person you can drop? I mean, I potentially would. Because I feel like as in these next couple weeks until Jordan Love comes back, I really feel like Christian Watson's not going to do much like at all. It's also like someone's probably going to pick him up though as well. Anybody else or is Christian Watson like literally last on your bench? Because I'm not opposed to it. I also just know that Quentin Johnston isn't going to play the Panthers every week, and he's not going to get 2 touchdowns every week. And I did my due diligence, you know, in the places, but I'm not super excited. Whew. What about dropping DJ Moore for Ridley? What? Is this the positional limit one, or was it Joe who said the positional limits? Man, DJ Moore is about to have a better game like this week than the last 2 weeks, though. A lot of it's just who they play. I got Watson and Pickens on my bench. Joe said Watson's been dropped twice in one of my leagues. See, like, I feel like even if you do drop Watson, you might be able to still pick him up, you know, like, so I don't know. Yeah. Don't drop more. Yeah. I think you could get away with dropping Watson and then maybe able to pick him up in like a week or two, you know, before Jordan Love like almost comes back. Infinite about to bench Dak and Cooks for Carr and Shaheed. Good move or nah? I mean, I'd bench Cook for Shaheed for sure, but the Dak for Carr, I mean, a little bit debatable. But Carr, he's been killing it, man. So like, it's kind of tough to sit Carr right now in a super flex league. So I think, yeah, I would start Carr. But I'm not just automatically making a move. I'm switching from this stack to this stack. Like, I don't do that. I don't want to do that. So if the thought process works out the same, you know, which it did in this case, I'd say okay. But just for anybody watching, I don't like just saying, oh, I don't want to start this stack. I want to start this stack. Like, I don't think of it that way. I'll make the independent decision on the wide receiver and on the QB. And if it happens to be start both of them, then it happens to be that way. Raw WB, what up? Should I trade Rice and Mason for Chase and McLaughlin? I mean, why do people want McLaughlin? Like, you're not the first person who asked about McLaughlin, but like, why do we want to trade for him? Like, we don't. So no, I'm not going to do that. I mean, if there's a better second person coming over, maybe. And do I want to trade Rice and Mason for Chase straight up? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Rice so far has kind of looked better than Chase. And he's like the guy like over there right now. He's trying to win that case on the court, man, on the field. Ross said redraft still have CD. Yeah, but I still don't want to get rid of Rice just because you have CD. Rasheed Rice and Jordan Mason for Amon Ra for Snag 2K. What up? I kind of don't want to trade Rice. Like, I really don't. And like, but do I want to get him on Raw? Like, fuck yeah. But dang, is that the only way that you could get him is by giving up Rice? Adrian, bold take. Shaheed will be the 1A receiver for the Saints now. I mean, I understand why people would say that. And shout out to Shaheed, San Diego native. But Olave's just had 2 really, really bad matchups in these first 2 weeks. Like, that's kind of what it's come down to. Olave is still the guy. Like, Shaheed, he's probably going to have a similar role the entire season. And boy, can he get us, like, can he average almost a touchdown a game? Can he get to like 12 or 15, something like that? He's already on his way. But pretty soon, people are going to start guarding that a little bit better than they have. And I like Shaheed. And I got him playing in places, and I want him to keep playing. But I don't think he's going to be the 1A for the entire season. But I do like him, and I will suggest people start him. Let's go. But still a little fluky. Let me go see what his snap percentage has been, because you know what? That's something I don't think that I have looked at. Where are they? New Orleans. Yeah, see, as of right now, kind of crazy how they're working the wide receivers. I mean, as of right now, Olave is getting more snaps, not necessarily like a bunch, but yeah, he's getting more snaps than Shaheed. And let's even see like how the targets. I mean, Olave's gotten shit targets so far. But see, even I mean, week 1, 5 targets to 2 for Olave. I mean, Carolina, even though they have a really shitty team, like they have a good number 1 cornerback, and their cornerbacks are just good in general. It's kind of like the only positions where they really like are, I'd say, above average on defense. And then especially with Brian, with Derek Brown going down over there. And then you look at the second game, 6 targets for Olave, still in a tough matchup, 4 for Shaheed. I know Shaheed got the touchdown, but he's getting that because of Olave. Like if Olave is not there, it makes it way easier to throw someone over the top on Shaheed. Infinite said, thanks for the good advice. He said, take a good rip. Let's get into it. Here we go. Adrian said, Carr, favorites is favorites, receivers is why I say. Well, Shaheed only has 1 more target than Olave on the entire season. So are they both his favorites? Alvin Kamara has 8. I mean, he's right there. I mean, those are the 3 guys who have more targets than everybody. Everybody else, 4 or less. So if we're talking about Derek Carr's favorites, it would be Shaheed, Olave, and Kamara. Like those are his favorites. It shows in the targets. Everybody else, like all the other running backs, just 1 target apiece. All the other wide receivers, 1 target apiece. And then the tight ends, I mean, 4, 3, and 3s, and most of those were from week 1. Like there's only 1 tight end target in week 2. And who got the most targets in week 2? Olave. So I'm with you though. Shaheed is one of his favorites for sure. I just don't think he's going to be the 1A. What up, Jeff? Should I start Hunter Henry over Pitts? Hunter Henry's got a tough matchup. Who do the Falcons have? They got the Chiefs. That's a tough matchup also. But it's probably the easier matchup. I think I'm going to go Pitts. What up, Will? He said, Alex, you're starting at 7:30 a.m. your time. Early bird gets the worm. Hell yeah. And the early pimp gets the fresh perm. Let's go. And started at 7 o'clock my time or 7:10 my time. So even earlier. And we're going to get into the starts and sits even earlier than we did last week. Let's go. Chef Aniba? I don't know how to pronounce it, but let's call you Chef. Shout out to the Chef. Trade Eckler for Swift. No, like Swift looks not good right now. Not good. And that line's trash over there. Not like Eckler's line isn't trash, but at least he's going to have a steady floor of targets. And Jeff said, any word on Walker yet? Nothing yet, because it's Wednesday still. And they're on the West Coast. So like I'm going to try to stay live until we start getting some of these West Coast, West Coast info. But we might not get that till a little bit later today. Adrian said, what's the market for Jordan Mason? I don't know why I'm confused. Would a Mason and Shaheed for AJ Brown be reaching? No. I mean, you could throw in Shaheed on almost any trade right now, and because of how good he's been doing, it's not going to feel like a reach. And like Mason, I mean, if you're selling him to the CMC, like manager, like nobody would question a trade, like that, especially when AJ Brown's going to be missing a couple weeks. So I don't think that's asking too much. And that's the kind of trade that I would be trying to make. And that would, somewhat be a buy low because we know Mason is on borrowed time. But that's the thing, like someone who really, really, really needs a running back, they're going to value and want a guy like Jordan Mason more than someone who doesn't need a running back at all. So like, that's how you get the good value. You need to look for the teams that actually need a running back because Mason, everybody needs another guy like Shaheed, but you need a guy like Jordan Mason to want to trade for him. Like you really need to have running back depth to get that. Or I mean, like no running back depth, and need to do that. That's where you're going to get the value. Chef said, would you trade Likely for Kincaid? Probably, because I was never really a big fan of like Likely being the guy like all the way. I think it was just kind of, being overlooked and all that in game one. And he really took advantage. And Mark Andrews was kind of hurt or something that game and didn't play as many snaps as he did the next week after that. And John Dumb, Hunter Henry or Foster Moreau this week. It ain't going to be Foster Moreau. I mean, I don't like Hunter Henry's matchup this week, but Foster Moreau could literally goose and just give a 0. And we literally saw that happen last week. So at least we feel like Hunter Henry is going to get targets because of Brissett. He used him in a major way this past week, and we just hope it continues to happen. So just remember, guys, the early bird may get the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Let's go. CD Smitty, should I trade Kyren or J.K. Dobbins for Chase? Like, will someone trade you Chase for J.K. Dobbins? Like, if so, like, yeah, do that. I don't know that anybody would do that necessarily. J2 Nice said, who should I start at the flex? Scott Stevenson, Pollard, Rashid, or Pierce? It's going to be a tough matchup for Stevenson, but I really feel like they lean on him. It's either Stevenson or Shaheed for me. I'm kind of leaning Stevenson, like, very slightly. Ryan said, you think DJ Moore plus Dell could get me a top 10 dynasty wide receiver? Maybe. Like, I bet you can get close. Ventures from the Q. PPR flex, Dobbins, Robinson, JSN. Dobbins has a horrible matchup. B-Rob, who's Washington play. Bengals on Monday night. It's pretty decent. And then JSN, who do the Sea Chickens play? The Dolphins. Might actually be a good matchup for JSN because it's not going to be Jalen Ramsey who's on him. Almost guarantee that Jalen Ramsey probably never lines up against him. For now, I'm going to say B-Rob, but that answer may change. Never take a Wednesday answer as the final answer. Big Bando, what up? Will said I traded Ayuk, Nico, Kincaid for Garrett Wilson, Kittle, JSN earlier this season. How did I do? I mean, right now, Nico's like one of the top wide receivers like in the league and probably like the best player like in this trade, like as of right now. And yeah, it's ugly, man. It's ugly. I feel like I would have rather had the side that you traded away. Stranger said Monday night squares. You know it, bro. You know it. Let me know if you want me to send you the board. Send you the board now for that so you could just hop on. But yes. Monday night squares. Always. If Bengals ever play in a Thursday night game, a Sunday night game, Monday night game, those games are guaranteed that I'm doing. During the week, though, it's going to be not during the week, but the second Sunday is always going the second Sunday game or the first Sunday game, however we look at it. That one will always be a little bit different. All right, cool. And you know what? Let me just go send you the board right now. And I don't even have to think about doing it later. Shout out to Crispy. I saw Crispy just jump in here. What up, Crispy? All right. Got it. So for anyone playing the squares this week, we got the Thursday night game.
What?
We got the Cowboy game on Sunday.
What?
We got the Sunday night game. That is the Chiefs and the Falcons.
What?
We got the Monday night game, the Bills and the Jags.
What?
And we got the Monday night game, the Bengals and the Commandos.
What?
It's gonna be a fun week. And Big Bando said, nice shirt. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the win. Yes, sir. Let's go. It's turtle time, baby. It is turtle time. And I shouted you out, right, Crispy? What up, Crispy? Thanks for jumping in, Crispy. Adrian said the triple stack kind of scares me as well, though. The Cardinals are kind of on the come up, but still unsure of the consistency. A bad game by the Cardinals in a way. A bad game for the Cardinals in a bad way means a bad game for your players. Yeah, kind of. Strange said, I love checking things off my list without ever adding to them. Exactly, man. Just, I have a whole list of shit that I need to do like already, sound drops and all types of stuff. And yeah, if I could just do something like right now in this second, not add to the list, like, man, I gotta be more efficient that way. It's all about the efficiency that way, right? I don't need to remember, write a note, send it to strangers. Just do it right now. All right, we're gonna get ready to jump into all the old ins and outs. It's crazy that they're remaking Clockwork Orange. So curious how they're gonna remake that. And Big Bando said, what do you think? Did I win trading White, Christian Kirk, and Marcus Robinson for ETN and Chubb? As of right now, I'll say that you did, but we don't know when Chubb is coming back. Let's see. This one? Did I not read this one? This was the one above it. I swore I read this. I traded Ayuk, Nico. So I'm banking on Garrett Wilson putting up monster numbers, but it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, and I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is not going to be throwing it like 40 times a game or 30 times a game, it's it's not going to be that great either. It could be just mediocre a lot of the times. Honestly, I was getting kind of tired of White dating back to last year. I love ETN. Okay. See, that makes sense. And see, like, I'm okay with people making trades to like get who you like, especially if you're making like somewhat of an even like type of trade. Like, yeah, get who you like. Most of the trades you see me make, though, it's going to be like, man, this trade won, like this side. And, we always do things to make sure both sides win in their own right. But that's what you're going to see me. You're usually going to see some trades like that out of me where they're like just, super, super calculated trades. Man, this motherfucker. All right, good. I was waiting for someone I pushed a trade through on accident and someone had to pay for the pick, or not pay for the pick, but pay their future year for trading off a whole bunch of future picks, 2025 picks or whatever. And they weren't answering for a second. I was a little nervous. I was like, oh man, is this guy ghosting? Am I going to have to reverse the trade? And but nope, Gucci. No, we ain't got to worry about it. All right, Corey, what up? You like Stafford or Darnold this week? Darnold. John Dumb Big Ben just said he'd rather start Justin Fields over Russell Wilson, and even if he's healthy, completely agree. Man, what the fuck does Big Ben's opinion fucking matter? Just saying, man. What the fuck does Big Ben's opinion matter? Is he even out there, like, at all? Could be personal reasons why he says that about Russ. Because Fields isn't that good. And I'm not talking about the wins and the losses. Like, Mike Tomlin's gotten wins with fucking Duck Hodges and shit. So John Dum said we love Big Ben. I mean, you might. I mean, yeah, you are a Steelers fan, right? But I don't know. Big Ben, I don't know if he's the best judge of character. Look at that. Zach, he's always lurking back there. Start talking shit about Big Ben. And fucking Chapokawaka Zach comes out of the woodwork. That's fucking hilarious. You're not the only Steeler fan. You're not the only Steeler fan in here, John Dum. It's fucking hilarious. I would fucking Chapokawaka Zach. I've known him since we were kids. And fucking in the league that we were in together, for the longest time, I would always pick Big Ben just to troll him. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. Should have picked him in 2018. That was my fuck up. And but it was always because you're now going to cheer for my team, even when I'm playing against you. Motherfucker. Hey, man, gotta hate on Big Ben. He's a Fucking asshole, man. He's a fucking asshole. That's all I could say. Crispy said, nobody sends me trades where I win. It's obvious I'm trying to rebuild and they want to send me shit like like Keenan and old shit. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Well, see, like, I mean, when you're rebuilding, you shouldn't even want players. Like when you're rebuilding, you should be trying to get rid of as many players as you can, bring back as many picks as you can. So just remember that, Crispy. When you're rebuilding, like, you know, it's an honest rebuild. Trade away. I mean, I'm not saying trade away everybody, but trade away the pieces that you want to trade away for picks only. Because when people throw players in, then they're going to try to not give you high picks. You're really trying to get the highest picks that you can. Lots of firsts, lots of seconds, and then fucking Crispy said, that's what I'm saying. And see, and I know that you know this. This is more a public service announcement for anybody in Dynasty. You're trying to get as many picks as you can. So next year, when it's around draft time, then you start wheeling and dealing. Move those draft picks for players that are established at that time, you know, because it always ends up working out when you do it that way. But you got to have the stones to wait and let your team be shitty because you traded away some good assets. You're the man, Zach. Appreciate you, brother. John Dum says he's actually an asshole from what I've heard for his electrician and was a complete dick the entire time he was there. I mean, you know, Big Ben won the Super Bowl. He won 2. The first one, though, I mean, I don't know. Do the real Steelers fans give Big Ben credit for that first one that he won when it was like literally like one of the worst performances, like as a Super Bowl winning quarterback? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I want to hear it from the real Steelers fans. And Corey said, try to pick up Likely. Fergie's my current tight end. Who else do you have that's over there? I mean, we saw last week. I mean, they're going to do a little bit of both, but like both tight ends, but it's still Andrews, man. It's still Andrews. So, of course, we're Steelers fans. And his 3 playoff games before that were really clutch. Okay, and see, and I don't even remember shit like that. And I just know that Big Ben and Tom Brady, like this side of like, you know, the 2000s, they had the worst performances like pretty much ever by a Super Bowl winning quarterback. It's crazy. And he made the greatest tackle of all time. So that means he threw an interception. Big ass interception, but got the got the tackle. Did he make the person fumble or anything like that? And see, there we go. Zach, you're the man. I guess I got to start starting a little earlier so guys like Zach can get in here before the day really starts, right? I'm going to get to the old ins and outs in a second here. Oh, when Bettis fumbled on the goal line. Oh, shit. Man, who won that game? Was it the bus who won it, or was it Big Ben? Who gets the most credit? Actually, Hines Ward was the Super Bowl MVP in that game, wasn't he? Or am I mistaken? Because I know the next one that they won, it was Santonio Holmes. I do remember that. Was it Hines Ward that won the Super Bowl MVP? I cannot remember. Oh, that was a really good game. The Steelers versus the Colts in the AFC Championship game. Yeah. And I mean, that's a game that happened a few times. I mean, maybe not in the championship game, but just in the playoffs over the next couple years. What up, Matt? What up, bro? Yeah, screw Facebook if you were on Facebook. Come over here to YouTube. And Stranger said, Huss ordered 3. Give me 42 and 2 random. Okay. We go mark this down for our man Stranger. All right. 42. 2 random. All right. All right. Yeah, man. Screw Facebook. Come over here to YouTube, man. Now that we're remonetized on YouTube, let's go. Now, anybody who wants to join the community, get that green cross right next to your name. Look at Crispy, look at Corey, like over there. Just hit that join button. It should be somewhere right underneath the video. Or if you don't see that, click on the pinned comment, and then you can join as well. $3, $5, $10. You'll see a few different options on there. There's even an option on there for you being an executive producer of the show. All right. Let's get it. Let's get it. We got, how many games do we got? 16, right? We don't have any. Yeah, there's no buys yet. Yep, we got 16 games to cover. 16 games to cover. 32 teams to cover. Oh, and you know what, Matt? You're on the Alex Marino. You're on the Alex Marino one. You're not on the Fantasy Football Hustler one right now. Just a heads up. But I love it. Wherever you guys watch, please watch, because I'm trying to get that Alex Marino YouTube channel monetized as well, and it's got to keep growing. I need. Not even sure how many more watch hours we need, but we need to get to 500 subscribers. All right. All right. Appreciate the talk this morning, guys. Having fun. And the Thursday games, whew, man, I don't know how much fun the Thursday game is going to be. Probably going to be ugly. And I got the snap counts and everything pulled up here as well. So if there's any players that we need to talk about. Dude, KJ Osborne for the Patriots. What the hell? There we go. Stranger said fresh bowl time. Tally man. Let's get it. Tally man. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. All right. Stranger made me jealous by saying fresh bowl time. So let's do one more. I always say one more, but you know, us stoners. Sometimes we say one more and you know, we can get a little bit more high, right? Just a little bit. Uh-oh, someone's sending me trade questions. Let's see. Okay. Hell yeah. Matt said, am I subscribed? Well, you're subscribed, yes, but you have not joined as a member. No. Highly recommendable morning day strain. Let's get it. Hey, shout out to Zeb. Let's go. East Coast. I mean, West Coast. West Coast is in the building right now, even though we got the early show. A lot of West Coasters. Let's go. Up and at 'em. Let's go. Tuesday and Wednesday, I get started a little bit earlier, but I don't know. Maybe even every day I should get started a little bit earlier and just finish a little bit earlier. All right, hold on. Well, actually, good time. What up, King D LBC? All right. Give me 1 second. I got to go change the baby. Vanessa's still like super tired right now. So let me go do that. And I'll be right back. I will be right back. Let me put my timer on so I know when 5 minutes is going. All right. Be back in a second, guys. Be back in a second. All right, we are back. Thanks for hanging out, guys. All right. And let's see. Will says start early every day. Sleep is for suckers. I know. Da Vinci never slept. Said it was a waste of time. You guys know where that's from? You know the reference? Seb said no rest is for the wicked. Matt, how do I become a member? You got come over to the Fantasy Football Hustler YouTube channel. Come over to the Fantasy Football Hustler YouTube channel. Actually, I'll just I'll send you the link. And Rush Lord, what up, bro? He said, Huss, great tunes. Appreciate you, homie. Harder, what happened? He said, oh, it was an audio problem. What's up, crew? What happened? What'd you say? Did I miss something that you said? Jay. Mike Evans, Rashid, or Pierce? Who do the Bucks play again this week? The Broncos. He's got Pat Surtain. I'll say Shaheed for a dart throw. And better than a dart throw. All right. Let's get ready. I'm gonna get to the old ins and outs. Let's go. Let's see here. Mark down the time. Okay. Here we go. Who's ready?
Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
So here we go with the old ins and outs. Let's get it. The team leaders in targets with 8 targets as well. So I really feel like it's Ramondre that is always going to be a must start for this team. Hunter Henry, I would only start him if you're wide receiver. Hunter Henry, I would kind of only start him at tight end if your tight ends suck. It's just a really bad matchup for them. So I know he was super hot, last week, but I'm going to start with caution this week. Wide receivers. This is the interesting position for the Patriots because they all kind of suck. I mean, we're glad that Polk, for our dynasty teams, that Polk got that touchdown last week, but I almost feel like you can't really start any of these guys. I mean, KJ Osborne, he's the guy with the most targets. He has 8. Same as Ramondre. Hunter Henry has 15 targets, just to put that into context. So even though I say start him with caution, 12 of those targets came in week 2. So that's why I say start with caution, even though he's got, the highest target market share on the team as of right now. Jalen Polk only has 4 targets on the season. Mario Douglas only has 3 targets on the season. So I really don't want to start any of these wide receivers at all. We're just going to skip the wide receivers altogether for the Patriots. And there you have it. There's the first half of the Thursday night game. All right, hold on. I'm going to try to get these teams I'm trying to do the teams just back to back real quick. Now, the other half of the Thursday night game, we got those goddamn Jets. Oh, yeah. Aaron Rodgers finally looking a little bit better. you know, after that first game kind of looking like trash. Brees Hall looking very, very solid. Garrett Wilson, oh man, a little bit nervous. So Aaron Rodgers, would I start him? I'm probably leaning on sitting him on a Thursday. I bet the Jets don't have to do much to win this game, and I bet it's just a low-scoring affair. Like all around, the teams know each other pretty well. I think both teams are probably going to play it pretty conservative most of the game. So I'm leaning on sitting Aaron Rodgers, even in a super flex. Like guys like Derek Carr, I've made the move and put Derek Carr in over Aaron Rodgers. Brees Hall, though, got to start Brees Hall. I mean, he's been killing it. I mean, every single game, he is going to be one of the main focal points. And I know week 1 kind of sucked, but week 2, you know, looking real nice, right? He's got 14 total targets on the season. Garrett Wilson is the only one who has a higher target market share than him on the Jets. It was really because of week 1, he had 11 targets for Garrett Wilson. He only had 6 this week. I'm nervous about Garrett Wilson. I feel like you got to have the stones to sit him because you drafted him in the 2nd round. And depending on who you have, he's probably just a better option. So I'm going to say you're probably going to start him anyway. So I'm not going to say sit. I'm just going to say that you better have some other guys around him that are more higher upside like picks, because don't expect a huge game out of Garrett Wilson versus the Patriots. I'm not starting Mike Williams. I'm not starting Allen Lazard. I mean, maybe this is kind of an Allen Lazard game because of like the randomness, but outside of that, I don't want to start Allen Lazard with any kind of confidence. And if there's still people who are considering starting Conklin right now, he is only averaging 2 targets a game, so just don't start him at all. Do yourself a favor. All right, there we go. First game out the way. Ain't no rest for the wicked by Cage the Elephant. Good tune, great chorus, nice. Would fit the opening theme. Nice. Uh-oh. Dude, this fool, man. All right. I don't know why people can't follow the rules in the vampire leagues. Like literally before I opened it up, 1 pick per week. And then someone's like, oh, I have 2 guys that got injured. So I just thought that I could like pick up guys for them. No, nobody ever said that. Nobody ever said that. So let me lock this fool now. Now I got to drop Leggett and Akers from his team. Leggett and Akers. Drop Leggett. Drop Akers. Hey, Frizzle. What up, homie? And Tyree, what up, bro? And I said, what up, Hustlers? I'd appreciate the suggestion to pick Houston for my survivor pick. Who are you thinking this week? Let me go look. I haven't looked yet. But see, on it, man, right? And now, I mean, the Texans, they're going to have some toughest matchups, right? All right, let's see. Who else made pickups over here? Actually, I got to go see who made pickups in these. He made one, Malone status, but then that's it. All right, let me go do my due diligence in these vampire leagues real quick, get my commissioner on. Make sure that nobody makes any extra fucking pickups. All right, and any questions that you guys got, go ahead and throw them in. All right, only one person made a move over here. We'll lock that team. Yeah, the vampire leagues are the ones that are a little bit annoying because I have to do so much manual work. Let's see. Go Hawk Life. It's funny, the vampire in one of the leagues, he didn't make any moves until I opened up waivers for everybody else, and he's making a million moves. It's like, dude, you had fucking multiple days to do this. All right, let's see. Crispy, same thing, fucking hilarious. Waiting until the last moment. All right, let's see. Hollywood. Locked. And Rush Lord. Let me lock these teams real quick in the vampire, and then I'm going to read out your question. Let's see. Hollywood, Jerry, LJC, and Zach. LJC. Let's see. All right. Let's see if I got this right. We got Jerry, OBC Net. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Got to make sure I lock all the non-vampire teams that made their pickup, save people from themselves. What up, Derek? Salute, homie. Salute, my brother. Thanks for coming through, man. I don't know if you had a break or whatever, but thanks for coming through, bro. Man, when's training over? When's training over, Derek? Just trying to get the countdown of when about to be lighting it up. And Rush Lord said, someone dropped Jaden Daniels. Do I spend my number one waiver to grab him? What kind of league? What kind of league? Is it single QB? No, I know you're working. Okay. Next week. All right. There we go. Getting closer. But so Rush Lord, let me know. Single QB. I'm assuming it's not a super flex. I doubt anybody would drop him in a super flex. Who's your other QBs that you have? Standard 10 team. I don't know. Who do you have at the bottom of your bench? I might. Yeah, single QB. I mean, I guess I probably would, but I'm not like too excited for it like either at the same time. Depending on who you have. That is. All right, let me see. And we'll get to the survivor pick. Other QB is Tampa QB. I mean, shit, the Tampa QB is like number one, like right now. Mayfield, yeah, he's like number one. I guess it depends on who you have on your bench. Who's like the low guys like on your bench, would you say? Do I trade away Chase, Kyren, and Kincaid for Devonta, Gibbs, and Bowers? I mean, I just don't like making trades like that, so I'm always going to say no. You want to make a more calculated trade, not trade like 3 guys for 3 guys and where you're like winning on some, losing on some, all that. So I'm just going to say no. Let's make a more calculated trade. Let's see. Steelers at the Chargers. I bet that's a really good one to do. Seahawks at home versus the Dolphins. Probably going to take that one. Bills at home over the Jags. I mean, Bills look a little up and down, but yeah, I'm going Seahawks over the Dolphins at home. That's where I'm going with my survivor pick this week. And I'm locking it in right now. Where the hell is it? Oh, fuck. I picked the Seahawks week 1. I guess I can't pick them. But that's who I would go with if you haven't been matching me. Dang it. So now I can't do that. I might take the Steelers over the Chargers. Chargers bound to implode. Zach said, who's winning, Steelers or the Chargers? Steelers at home. Browns over the Giants. That's probably a good one. But yeah, I think I'm going Steel Dogs over the Chargers. Let's get it. Okay. And nice. Going to the Rams Niners on Sunday. Wearing my Vikings Moss or Peterson jersey. Come on, man. Go Randy Moss. Go Randy Moss. Seb said Giants are trash. They could go 0-10. They could. I don't really want to bank on the Browns. I don't want to bank on the Browns, but I don't really want to bank on Justin Fields either, but it's really about how good the Steelers are. And it's A-Dog, and I forgot to thank you for following on Twitch. Thanks, brother. He said, I'm trying to trade away Chase, get another RB. Wide receiver room is Lamb, Chase, Nico, Shaheed. Running backs are Kyren, JK, K9. Who should I target? I mean, if you're trying to trade Chase away, you need to be going and targeting someone that needs a wide receiver. And you need to find a team that has enough running back depth that they will give up one. So that's what you want to do. Instead of me just saying some random name and saying, go trade for this person. Go scout your league. Go scout your league and see what teams, if they're 2-0, probably not going to be rushing to like trade unless they're like super stacked at positions. But yeah, I would be looking to find someone who needs a wide receiver and who has like extra running back depth. And then that's where you start. Find those teams. Then feel free to come back and ask. Say, I found the teams. Who should I try to trade for out of these guys? That narrows it down and makes it way better versus me just, saying, Chase, go target Breece Hall. Like, who knows if the Breece Hall, would do that. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that's how you narrow it down a little bit. And you really find someone who could potentially be a trade partner versus just kind of throwing out random offers, because there's a lot of people who get mad about getting random offers when they're like, man, I don't even like this player. And why are they sending it to me? And, but if they really need a wide receiver and you throw Chase over there and you throw back even one of their big hitters, if they really need that wide receiver, they're going to contemplate. Tyree says Palmer or Kirk. Man, Palmer's droppable at this point. And I know Kirk's been playing like he's droppable, but I think things are going to turn around for the Jags. I don't think that Palmer is going to be the guy like over there ever. And Frizzle said, fucked up part about my home league is anyone can veto a trade. I mean, you guys got to change that. I mean, vetoes just suck, especially in home leagues where like, I'm sure you guys are all friends and everything, but like, and nobody wants anybody to win in home leagues. It's like, no, fuck that. He's not going to make his team better by making this trade. Fuck that. Veto. Got to get rid of vetoes, bro. Said, so if me and you come to terms with a trade, another dude can stop it from happening. I mean, you might as well not even trade at that point, like is it worth really even all the effort, to go through, try to make a trade, and then half of your league hates you, so they're just going to veto anyways. And they love you, but they hate you at the same time. It's like the friendship, like hate. And Tyree said Hurst or Ferguson. I mean, I don't think Ferguson really deserves to be in any start-sit questions like right now because we don't even know if he's going to play. So as of right now, I guess Hurst by default, but I don't really want to play him though, Zeb said Juju or Mac Hollins 32. Mac Hollins, and really neither, but 32 teamer. Frizzell said, well, I don't know anyone except one dude in this 14-man league, especially if the entry fee was 100. I mean, yeah, bro. Got to get into leagues with better commissioners. Because home leagues, you know, commissioners in home leagues, from a lot of my experience of like seeing people complain and shit like that, they're just doing it because nobody else wants to do it. I'm not saying it's always the case like that, but a lot of commissioners just do it because nobody else wants to do it in their home league. So, you know, it just makes it easier to have vetoes. That's kind of lame. Zach Moss or Zamir? Ooh. I'm gonna say Zach Moss because the Commandos just suck. Matt, what up? Who's the top wide receiver in LA right now? I think Demarcus Robinson, but you know, it could be a mix of like everybody. Zeb said Steele, Kirk, Warren for the flex. Oh man, that shit sucks. Oh man, that shit sucks. I'm gonna say Kirk for the garbage time. I bet we get garbage time, Christian Kirk in there. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right, Frizzil? I mean, you know, that's why we just got to expand beyond our home leagues, because a lot of things are just never going to change in the home leagues, because like everybody has to agree on something and yada, yada, yada. There was just one point where I was like, I'm not voting on anything. I'm just going to tell people in a year in advance. And like, you're either with it or you're not. Like, it got to that point where I was like, man, like, someone complain about some changes that I'm going to make, and then maybe we'll talk about it as a league. But I feel like most people, they just knew that I was doing things for the better of the league I mean, you know, after I already am a commissioner for like, you know, 5-6 years plus, it's like, yeah, I don't need everybody to vote on something that I know needs to happen, but we're going to do it next year, but I'm going to tell people about it like right now, so they're not surprised. And I'll mention it a couple more times along the way. Jesse said, y'all think I should upgrade Dak? I mean, better games ahead for Dak for sure. I mean, might even start this week versus the Ravens, who, you know, Gardner Minshew. No one even thought Gardner Minshew was going to do anything, you know, over there. And so I guess it just depends on where your upgrade's going to be and what's it going to cost. Hey, Ram said, start Carr or Burrow. Burrow's got the Commandos. Even Danny Pesos had a good game against the Commandos. So probably going with Burrow as of now, but I really don't want to sit Carr. That's why I don't like single QB leagues, because like I want to start both of these guys this week. And Frizzo said, thank God I don't need to desperately trade. Yeah, so it should be all right then. Alec Pierce for Daniel, Alec Pierce, Gus Edwards, Bucky Irving for my flex spot. Probably Alec Pierce. It's a dog on Twitch. Kareem Hunt brings up another point. What do you think will take a majority of the field? Hunter Steele. And who was it? Oh, it's Heavy right here. He said, wake up as a Kareem Hunt owner. He said, oh, yeah. I mean, if you were smart, you picked up Kareem Hunt on Tuesday or Monday before anybody else actually had the chance to, like, get him. But, yeah, man, like, he's not going to be anything. Like, there's no way that he's actually NFL caliber number one running back, you know, on a team. Like, he's not that caliber like anymore. If he was, he would have been on a team. And I know people are disgusted by him because of the shit that he pulled, you know, years ago. And they should be, because he's a piece of shit, you know, for that. But this is more about a depth piece than anything. Because I bet even when Pacheco comes back, they just get rid of his ass. Like, nope, no Super Bowl ring for you, bud. Matt said Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Amari Cooper, Rashid Shaheed, Zamir, Singletary, 1 RB, 1 flex. As of right now, Henry and Shaheed. Zeb said Swift, McBride, Scary Terry. McBride. I don't usually like running double tight ends, but Scary Terry scares me. Swift kind of sucks. That's out of the Chiefs defense. Top options are the Bucks, Giants, Titans, Packers, Raiders, or Bills. Who do the Chiefs play this week? Falcons. Almost just keep the Chiefs versus the Falcons. I mean, I like the Bucks. They got a good matchup this week versus the Broncos. I like the Seahawks. They got a good matchup this week as well. But yeah, I think in this case, I mean, unless you want to pick up the Bills versus the Jags, but I think I'd just roll with the Chiefs. I know they're on the road, but that don't matter. What up, Frank? Said Zamir White or Javonte Williams, Pittman. I'll go Zamir, and then Pittman, Jameson, Waddle, pick 2. Pittman and Jameson. And what up, homie? And Daniel Caps, what up? Should I trade A-Chain and St. Brown for Taylor, Marvin Harrison Jr., DK Metcalf, running backs are Monty Pollard, Rashad White, Mason, Ramondre. Wide receivers are Puka, Gary Shakir, Marcus Robinson, QB is Kyler. I mean, I don't like it because it's like it's a lot of big time players for a lot of big time players, and like I feel like it's like selling too early on Amon Ra. I'm just gonna say no. I just feel like this trade really needs to get reworked. It really needs to get reworked. All right. Next game. All right, we are moving on to Sunday games now. And the first game that we got on the slate is the Giants at the Browns. And oh man, this might be one of the lower scoring games on the week. Probably not going to be starting a lot of players from this game. Newsflash. So Daniel Jones, Danny Pesos last week killed it versus Washington, but I think everybody's going to kill it versus Washington. I'm sitting him versus the Browns. You're not starting any tight ends, newsflash. Devin Singletary. I know he did good versus Washington, but kind of everybody's doing good versus Washington. I do not want to start him versus the Cleveland Browns. And I really don't want to start any of the wide receivers. Neighbors is the only one that I really feel like is even like flex worthy. Wandale, no. Darius Slayton, no. Malik Neighbors, you want to start him in the flex? It really depends on who you have, but he's the only one that I'll say start in a flex role. All right. And shout out who just came in. Derek, what up? And Daniel Caps, I felt the same thing. Yeah, and I know sometimes people just need, a little bit of reassurance. So I'll be here to provide some. And if I think you're wrong, I'll let you know, but I'll let you know why. Now the other side of this ugly game, we got Mr. Deshaun Watson.
Hello, ladies.
I do not want to start him, not in a single QB. I mean, maybe in a super flex, but I kind of really don't want to start him. It's looking ugly over there, and I bet they don't have to do a lot to win this game versus the Giants. That's another thing. Jerome Ford. Donta Foreman took a bunch of his work last week, and it's almost making me not want to start Jerome Ford, but the Giants is a really good matchup. So I will say Jerome Ford is flex worthy, but really depends on who you have. But I'm going to say flex worthy. Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy. Those are kind of the only two guys that are even worth starting in the wide receiver spots. And I feel like if I'm going to start one, I want to go with Jerry Jeudy here. I'm going to say just sit Amari Cooper if you can. I know that in some leagues, 12-team leagues, you might not have the luxury. But if you're in the 8 or 10-man league, I'm sitting Amari Cooper. And Jerry Jeudy, I'm probably only starting him in 12-team leagues or higher because this game could be one of those ones where the Browns score like 14 points and win it like 14-7, 14-10, 14-3, something like that. Could be very ugly. And until we have more news on David Njoku, I mean, you're just leaving him out. I don't think that he's going to play this week. Jordan Akins is kind of whatever, so I wouldn't really start a tight end from over here as well. And there you go. This game is going to be trash. Make sure you subscribe. check out all the other games that we're going to be talking about here. All right, there we go. Got through another game. What up, Keebs? So are we concerned about Mahomes? Kind of think about picking up Carr and starting them. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Wouldn't be opposed to that. Chiefs versus the Falcons. Falcons D, a little bit improved for sure. I probably would. Well, see, like, I guess I don't want to get too cute too quick. How about that? So what about pick up Carr and put him on the bench and just like let Mahomes know? By making that move, Mahomes is going to know. He's on a short leash now, okay? Like the players know. The players know. Captain Spock said, salute, wakey bakey here on the coast. Let's go. And I've been live for 1 hour and 30 so far, Captain Spock, if you can believe it. Heavy said there's actually a wide receiver on the Browns named Trash. Well, it's Thrash, but he's trash. It's Thrash, but he's trash. That is for sure. And what up, Justin? And Ryan said Dynasty got offered JT for my DJ Moore and Ramondre. Thoughts? I think that someone's trying to buy low on DJ Moore like right now. And I think I'm just going to hold. Justin said, start your studs. What up, my brother? All right. Here we go. Eagles depth chart. Doing good, homie. Doing good. Hope you're doing good, bro. And for those that first time doing fantasy this season for waivers, there's a certain weak point where they basically become irrelevant and you're just left to trade with other players. I guess it's a yes and no, because you will hit a point. Like right now is the best time to be like in the first 4 weeks. You really want to go hard picking up some of these guys because it's some people like Puka last year, for example. Like if you would have thought Puka was a flash in the pan and you just didn't go after him week 1 or with your first waiver, you know, you just weren't getting him, you know, and like you never got a guy who came up like that. The running backs are going to be the ones. Those are always the ones when there's injuries later. The running backs come into play and they sometimes end up becoming league winners. So running backs, I would say that's the position that you always want to be paying attention to on the waivers. And a lot of it later in the season is because of injuries when guys start becoming a lot more relevant. And Abraham, Hayden Hurst, or Gesicki. Man, I mean, I guess I'll get Gesicki with it, but I'm not super excited about it because the Washington, they actually like hold down like tight ends a little bit. And hey, shout out to Gucci, who just followed on Twitch. What up, what up? Said besides Nico, my wide receivers are Waddle, Cooper, JSN, Shakir. Who would you start as a wide receiver 2 and flex? Dang, you don't have any other running backs you could potentially put in there? I'll say JSN and Shakir. I kind of don't like it, but that's who I'd say. That's who I'd say. And he said, W shirt, by the way. Oh, hell yeah, man. Hey, it's Turtle Power, man. Turtle Power. Okay. Here we go. Zach Moss on my bench. Put Zach Moss in at the flex this game versus the Commanders. Well, it's a good game to deploy Zach Moss. And Captain Spock said JSN at 37.2 target market rate last week. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. And I think it's an outlier, like, you know, more than being like a consistent like thing. Yeah, we'll see. I wonder what happened with Lockett. Let me go look. Because I mean Lockett's been banged up this entire time. And damn, they all played like 80% of the snaps. Interesting. It's crazy because last week in week 1, Lockett only played like 50% of snaps. Got all those targets. Abraham Ertz is available too. Don't get that cute. Don't get that cute. And hey, dogs, I'm also thinking about grabbing CMC for the cheap. CMC manager really needs QB help, has Tua, may offer Carr and see what happens. I mean, do it, you know. I mean, you never know how people are thinking. Like sometimes people do crazy things when they feel like they can't escape whatever, you know, hole they've kind of been dug into, you know. Seattle's passing at a 69% rate.
69, dude.
He said by far the most in the league. Ryan Grubb. Glad this happened. Well, I was not recording that part yet. All right, and here we go. Let's get into the next game here. Next game. We got to do this faster. We got 16 games to go. The next game we got is those Philadelphia Eagles going down to the Bayou to go visit the Saints. And Jalen Hurts, he's just someone you're never sitting. Barkley, someone that you're never sitting. A.J. Brown, they said last week that he is going to be missing a couple weeks. He's already got the doubtful tag, so hopefully you play on Sleeper where you could just move a guy like that to your IR spot like right now. Devonta Smith, I feel like you just have to start him. Like, I mean, I don't want to start Dotson. I don't want to start that Covey dude or nothing like that. Devonta Smith's the only one I'm really starting with any kind of confidence. And even Dallas Goedert. Like, I mean, I do not want to start Dallas Goedert. He's always a disappointment. And even in the games where, you know, there's kind of nobody like out there, he still only gets 4 targets, you know, like that's like his cap is like 4 or 5 targets. And I just don't like it. So don't start him. Hurts, Barkley, Smith. Those are the big 3, starting all of them, even in a tough matchup because the Saints have been tough, still starting those 3 with all the confidence in the world this week. All right. Now to the home team, the Saints, who have absolutely been on fire these first 2 weeks of the season. Derek Carr, I feel like even in a single QB league, I want to start him. At least he should be in the conversation with whoever your starter is. So I'm just going to say start him, especially for all the Superflex peeps watching this. Smash start. Alvin Kamara. There's no way that we're sitting Alvin Kamara at this point, right? Like if you have him, you are deploying him. The most targets that anybody has on the team is Raheed Shaheed. I'm going to start him as well. But Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave, they only have 1 less target. Shaheed has 9 on the season, and Kamara and Olave have 8. And I'm going to say start Olave. I know that Shaheed's been the one who's been producing a little bit more, but the targets are there for Olave. It's just been tough matchups, you know, and I'm not saying this week is like a cakewalk because he's got Darius Slay, but I'm going to play him, especially in a 12-man league. I'm going to play Olave over a lot of random, you know, waiver wire guys who I think people would be trying to get cute and start over him. So, yeah, I'm going to say start Derek Carr, start Kamara, Raheed Shaheed. He's the guy I'm starting with confidence. And then Olave, yeah, I'm starting as well. Don't start Foster Moreau. Don't do it. Eagles are pretty solid against the tight end. And, I mean, you look at Foster Moreau, he had 0 targets last week. Taysom Hill was the only tight end who had a target for them last week, and he only had 1. And I'm always leaning on sitting Taysom Hill. So do not start Taysom Hill, okay? On to the next game. All right. Hey, Toker1J, what up, bro? Zach said, should I add the Texans defense or the Bengals defense? Probably the Bengals this week. Yep. Said 3 out of the next 4 matchups for the Bengals defense against the Commandos, Panthers, Giants, even though the Texans defense is probably better. Yeah, because most of the time you're really just trying to get the team with the better matchups. Like, here's the way that I think about it. I would rather play a mid-level defense, not trash defense, okay? Mid-level defense. I think the Bengals are a mid-level defense, okay? I'd rather play a mid-level defense with a really great matchup than a really great defense with kind of a bad matchup. You know what I mean? The Vikings, I mean, they're not a horrible matchup, but you know, they've been doing a lot better than people thought, right? And so that's all I'm saying is like the Commandos, like who cares if Jaden Daniels fucking rushes for 90 yards? If he doesn't throw for a couple touchdowns and run in a couple touchdowns, you know, the defense is still going to do good. They got pass rushers that can get after it. They got guys who can intercept the ball if Jaden Daniels does throw. So, yeah, I would rather start a mid-level defense like the Bengals in what seems like a smash matchup versus a better defense. You know, I don't think that the Texans is an elite defense, but I think that they're a step ahead of the Bengals in how good they are. But the matchup is so much better for the Bengals. So, but I do not like for the people out there who think that they can start a trash team in a smash matchup, don't do it. Don't do it because that team's still trash. Yeah, Commandos already allowed 5 sacks for sure. More to come. More to come. What up, Jesse? He said QB Dak. I mean, I don't really have suggestions on what to upgrade right now because everything looks pretty solid. What you got to be doing is making sure that you're picking up the waiver wire guys week after week and you're trying to make trades in your league to the teams that are hurting, that need to fill voids. That's what you got to work on doing for upgrading. So scout those teams. Scout those teams. Look at the teams that are doing shitty that probably shouldn't be. Some of the guys who they have, maybe they have someone who hasn't popped off yet, you know, but we think that they're going to. Perfect buy lows. Perfect time for the buy lows. And Frank, what up, homie? He said Carr or Mayfield. Mayfield. And then Montgomery or Chardonnay. Chardonnay if Ken's not playing. What up, Caden? Got a quick question. Have a deal on the table where I'd trade Devontae Adams or for Jaden Daniels and Jalen Reed. One of the receivers are CD and Collins. I have JSN as a possible flex guy. I'm going to say no. Don't do that. I'm assuming this is a single QB league because unless you tell me super flex, I'm just assuming it's a single QB league. And Jaden Daniels, I'm not really excited to get him. Jalen Reed, I mean, it'd be nice to like get him in the future, you know, with when Love's coming back. But Devontae Adams is here right now, and we saw what he did last week, and I don't want to trade him away right now for 2 players where one's a bench player for me and the other one is probably a bench player. Like right away, like I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That hurts your team more than helps right away. Yes, especially other QB is just Carr. I mean, you say just Carr, but he's killing it right now. He is killing it right now. You ride that wave. You ride that wave. And is there nobody on waivers? Is there like 0 people like quarterback wise on waivers? Because there's quarterbacks on waivers. I mean, that's just another reason. That's just another reason, you know, to make it happen. All right. Yeah, Papa J, Herbert injury. Yeah, I mean this Wednesday the injury report is going to be very interesting. Very interesting. And Zach, someone in my league is benching Zay Flowers. Should I try to trade JSN for Zay Flowers? Man, I kind of want to see if JSN has like a similar game to this to know if it was an outlier. Who else do you have on your bench? Do you have someone where maybe you could trade 2 bench players for a Zay Flowers, where like the person might think, oh shit, I don't even like Zay Flowers like that, but I can get 2 players, you know, for him. Heavy said Dowdle, Elliott, Foreman, Naylor at the second flex. If Addison sits again, I'm leaning Naylor. I would be too. I mean, Zeke, I'm Not mad at it. Not mad at it. I mean, the way that the Ravens looked, I'm not super scared of them. Jonathan said better handcuff to hold between Ray Davis, Blake Corum, Trey Benson, Curley holding Ray Davis. Let me check something, because that's actually a really good question. And I don't even know who to say right now without doing more research. So let's see. Ray Davis, only 1 target or 2 targets on the season. He's averaging 20% of the snaps right now, but from week 1 to week 2, he did jump up a lot. He jumped up 31%, way over Ty Johnson. So that's a good sign for Ray Davis 2 weeks in. And then let's go check Corum real quick. So Corum, I mean, he jumped from 0% in week 1 to 15% in week 2. So that's good, but I mean, that's really the only positive thing that I can say about him. And then let's check Benson. Yeah, Benson's got 2 targets right now. And I mean, he's been more involved, like snap-wise. I might just hold Ray Davis because James Cook, I mean, I know they were winning, and so they probably pulled him a little bit earlier, but James Cook hasn't been getting an insane amount of like the snaps. I mean, even in week 1, he only had 61% of the snaps. So I think like no matter what, they're going to be deploying him a little bit. They're always going to be deploying him, but 61%, that's the most that they deployed him. So I'm just going to say hold with Ray Davis. Hold with Ray Davis for now. Papa said JSN going off this year if Geno keeps playing like he is. I mean, Geno did this last year, right? Zach said I lost Cup and Pacheco in this league. My bench players are Steeler, Hunter Henry, Braylon, and Naylor. I mean, that's tough, man. Do I offer? So, I mean, Steele is the fucking Steele and Henry are like flavors of the week right now. I would just, offer Steele. And, I guess you have Pacheco. So, I mean, if you really need Steele, maybe don't. Maybe offer Hunter Henry and Naylor. I don't know if he needs a tight end. If he doesn't need a tight end, maybe offer Braylon Allen and Naylor. And just start there. Like, you never know. What if he counters? Like, you want to have a trade that's good enough just to get a counter. If you get a counter, then it's time to go to work. Because then it could be, the ping pong trade, type of game where you just keep going back and forth. He adds a little bit more, you take a little bit off. He adds a little bit more, you take a little bit off. So they were getting smashed, though, the Rams. Yeah, for sure. But they could be getting smashed a lot in the future as well. Jonathan said my only thought was that James Conner usually never plays a full season. Yeah, I mean, Kyren's never played a full season either then, right? And I almost feel like James Cook hasn't even played a full season. Like, a lot of running backs don't play full seasons. Like, they really don't. Like, when we really, really think about it, like, a lot of them don't play full seasons because most running backs, get hurt. Let's go see. Johnny, what up? He's like, congrats on cracking 7K. Yeah. We're almost up to 7,100 already, man. We're moving quick. Things are moving nicely with the growth of the channel now. Yeah, see, look, we just cracked 7K this morning. We're already up to 70-40. So we are doing good. And Famelo, what up on Twitch, new follower, said trade Diggs for Jameson Williams. I really don't like making 1-for-1 trades like that. I'd want to make a more calculated trade. than that if possible. Not saying don't get Jameson Williams, but I don't want to trade Diggs for Jameson Williams. They're so similar. I mean, even though Jameson Williams is killing it right now, so similar that I almost want, I want to get them on the same team. I don't want to trade one for the other. Derek said send Monty and Higgins for Ayuk and Eckler. No. Just hold. I mean, same thing. 2 for 2. Wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back. You're losing on the running back and then winning on the wide receiver, you know? So it's like you're still kind of averaging yourself out. So if you guys want to make these type of trades because you want to cheer, you know, for the other players, go for it, you know? Like that's more of like a personal reason on why you want to do it. But no, we need more calculated trades than this because it doesn't, like, it helps your team and hurts your team at the exact same time. You know, we want to do trades that just help your team, not help and hurt at the same time. And Frank said Olave, London, DJ Moore, pick 2. I'm going to say Olave and DJ Moore, but it's close. And Famelo, I got Ridley, Diggs, and Adams as my wide receivers, so I don't know what to do. I mean, if anything, you know that these type of guys, they're just gonna they're gonna work it out. Like, don't panic. Like, that's the worst thing that you can do is like trade emotionally or make like panic trades. I'm not saying trading for Jamison Williams is like a super panic trade or like the worst thing that you can do. I'm just saying, like, we want more calculated trades. Like, throw your bench in there. I'm going to smoke one more bowl, and then I'm going to get into more starts and sits. That's what we're doing on Wednesday. I go through every single game. I give you my thoughts on the starts and sits. Throw in your bench. Let me see what you're working with your depth, because that's a lot of what it comes down to. It's like these depth pieces that you have. Right. And even Johnny said that's not a bad wide receiver room. It's not. I mean, Diggs is starting slow. Adams had, you know, a whatever game 1, but like killed it game 2, and kind of same for Ridley, right? Like, I mean, did shitty week 1, but you know, week 2, solid. Zoo Crew said J-Mo's the truth. Man, Homer. Nah, J-Mo's finally been killing it, so I can't even hate on him like I used to. But this motherfucker always gets hurt, and he hurt his ankle like really early in that game, and he's kind of been dealing with it, you know, this whole time. But better not get hurt. And Jay, Christian Watson or Wandale? Fuck, you have nobody else. Derek said pick my wide receiver 2: Reed, Higgins, Deontay, Shakir, Tyler Johnson. I mean, I guess Shakir, as of right now, we need injury reports before I can suggest a guy like Higgins or anything like that. Famelo said, yeah, you guys are right. I just think he would be best because he's on that guy's bench. Well, I'm not saying don't go after him, but like, you don't want to trade one of your best 3, you know, wide receivers for him. The way to do this is by trade. Like, if you can trade 2 decent bench players, you know, because sometimes people have bench players that are good enough to be starters on other teams, and one man's trash is another man's treasure. And if Jamison isn't good enough to crack that person's starting lineup, maybe he would trade him a little bit cheaper because might have got him off of waivers for all I know. Joey, what up? Should I trade T. Higgins for Amari Cooper? No. Jay said Addison, but he's questionable. Yeah, and until we know that Addison's playing, I'm going to assume that he's just not. Johnson said my wide receiver is looking a lot better now with Adams, Rice, Ayuk, and Smith. And Ayuk and Smith just turned into the wide receiver 1 for a few weeks. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Here we go. Next game that we got on the docket is going to be the Houston Texans going up against the Minnesota Vikings, or going into Minnesota. And CJ Stroud, of course, we are starting him. Single QB, super flex. I mean, he's always going to be in contention of starting. So, yes, CJ Stroud in there like swimwear. The running backs, though, we don't know if Joe Mixon is going to play. this week. So you got to monitor all week. Make sure you are here, though. I am going live daily, and we're talking about the news. We're talking about injuries and all that. So make sure you're coming back to find out about Joe Mixon. Now, Dalton Schultz, I'm just going to say don't start. Let's make that easy. Dalton Schultz, don't start. The 3 wide receivers, though, this 3-headed wide receiver trio of Nico, Diggs, and Tank Dell. You really can't sit either of them. I mean, you're not sitting Nico. I mean, shit, him and Godwin, they're like the top wide receivers like in the league points-wise right now. Stephon Diggs, I know getting off to a slow start, but he's still playing over 80% of the snaps. There is just a lot of mouths to feed, over there. But Nico, he's got 18 targets on the season, and Stephon Diggs has 12. And so he's got second most on the team. Tank Dell, only 1 target behind Diggs. And this past week, Dell played 69% of the snaps.
69, dudes.
So if anybody's getting the short end of the stick, it's Dell, but barely by like 10 to 15% of the snaps. Week 1, 63% of the snaps. Week 2, 69% of the snaps.
69, dudes.
So Nico, Diggs, and Dell, I'm fine starting all of them the way that I like them. The order that I would put them in would be just that: Nico, Diggs, and Dell. He's the one. He's the one right now. He is Neo. All right. Let's jump over to the Vikings now. And everybody who left a question and stuff, just hang on one sec. Once I get done with the Vikings, I'm going to read out the chat. This video that I'm recording, the little video within the video, I turn it into its own uploaded video. One quick sec. Let me jump over. So I have some snap percentages on the Vikings. Okay, here we go. What up, JPZ? The other side of this game, we got the Minnesota Vikings. And, oh, man, Sam Darnold. It's almost like we got to start him like right now. Maybe not in a single QB, but super flex. I find it hard to believe that you're going to be able to keep Darnold on the bench with some of these bad QB matchups that are out there this week. So Sam Darnold, I am deploying him. Let's start him. Aaron Jones. Get a little bit nervous about the running backs, but I'm going to deploy him in this game. We're going to say start him. Ty Chandler, I mean, you got to be a little bit desperate, but I know that because of the running back injuries that are out there, Ty Chandler might be a flex guy for you guys. I'm going to say sit him, even if you are super desperate. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, guys who we are going to need to monitor all week. If Justin Jefferson plays, of course, we are playing him. Even if Jordan Addison plays, I'm going to say sit him. If Jordan Addison does not play, I'm going to say start Naylor, because he's been getting some work. And that's all that we can ask for out of a dart throw flex guy, because that's really what Naylor is, kind of like a dart throw flex guy, at best. But if you got to dive that far down, I'm okay starting him, but we must monitor this week's injury report with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And you're not playing a tight end probably ever for this team. I mean, yeah, just no reason to. On to the next game. All right, there we go. Neo Collins, nice. Yeah, don't let anybody steal it. You heard it here first. Don't be sharing it with the with the other peeps, because the shirt might get made out of it, and I'll get no credit. And Zach said, and Hunter Henry just had a bit. Should I offer Hunter Henry for Zay Flowers? There's a tight end spot in this league. He doesn't have a backup tight end. I would do it, but I would probably not offer Hunter Henry by himself. Probably not enough for a Zay Flowers. So unless you want to get a quick reject, or if this is the type of person that would counter, maybe that's just the first offer you throw out and be expecting a counter. Okay. Did I miss any questions? I think I got it. And Crispy said, back it up on that trash talk. What's the next game that we got here? So I made it through 4. We got to keep on trucking. Johnny said, I'll keep it in the fam. That would be a good emoji. Yeah. All right. Famelo, how about I trade Mostert, Greg Dortch, and Herbert for Williams? Try it. I don't know if the person would do it, but throwing Herbert in there kind of makes it a little nicer. But try it, see what happens. Start there. But if he doesn't have a lot of room on the bench, go look at the bench. If it seems like Mostert and Greg Dortch aren't better than his bench players, it's probably not going to go over well, you know. All right. Denver Broncos. That's who we're going with next. Next game on the early slate on Sunday is going to be the Denver Broncos going into Tampa Bay to play those Bucks. And should we just sit everybody from the Broncos? Is that like an easy assessment? Just like sit everybody, don't start anybody. Not starting Bo Nix, even in a super flex. Javonte, I mean, it's laughable that people still want to start him. He must be super desperate. Jaleel McLaughlin, like, I don't know why people are like thinking about starting him or accepting trades with him. I don't want it. Cortland Sutton, he's sucked so far. And I think if I'm going to start one of these guys, it's going to be Josh Reynolds. And that's even in a super dart throw flex. And Greg Dulcich, I don't want to start. No. So really, Josh Reynolds would be the only one in a super deep, league with maybe a couple flexes, something like that. Outside of that, I'd want no parts of the Denver Broncos. And Famelo, okay, thanks. I'm new to this, but so this helped. Okay, perfect. Had a good day. I'll definitely be back. Yeah, make sure you follow. And if you subscribe, I think you can turn on notifications. So subscribe, use your Amazon Prime if you have that, and then you can subscribe for free. Glad we can help. Glad we can help because I know every single year there's more new players playing. Now here we go. The other side of the coin. This coin's a little bit nicer for sure because Baker's like the number 1 QB in fantasy right now. So of course you are starting him. Rachaad White, we need to monitor practice and injury reports for him. If he plays, I'm going to say play him. I am a little bit nervous with the injury and with the Broncos matchup. It's not horrible, but Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin, you are starting for sure. Mike Evans is going to be going up against Patrick Surtain Jr. I am super nervous about that matchup for him. I think he's still going to be able to do things in the red zone, but I don't think that we should expect a high amount of yardage in this game. But I feel like you're starting Mike Evans either way because at any given time, he can go for 2 touchdowns. And even if he only gets you 30, 40, 50 yards, but he locks down the 2 touchdowns, he's not hurting you, and he's going to be better than some random dart throws you're going to throw in. Jalen McMillan, only a start in a super deep league. Cade Otton, I don't want to start him. But yeah, Baker, Evans, maybe. Godwin, full go for sure. Let's do it. Big Bando. Who should I start this week out of Robinson or Kirk? Last flex spot. Leaning Robinson right now. And then Quentin Johnston or Warren. I'll lean Quentin Johnston. All right. Next game. Packers and the Titans. Here we go. Next on the early slate of Sunday games, we got the Packers going up against the Tennessee Titans. And did they just mirror the Jets' schedule? Why are the Packers playing the Titans right after the Jets just played them? Jordan Love, they said he's missing multiple weeks, so we should just assume that he's not going to be playing this week. It's going to be Malik Willis, and I would just sit Malik Willis. Yeah, versus his old team. I bet his team's going to want to kill him out there. Josh Jacobs, we got to start him. I mean, they give him any kind of workload that they did last week. It's going to be at least good enough to keep a high floor. No touchdowns last week. Hopefully that changes this week for him. I really don't want to start like any of the wide receivers. Like, I really don't. Whoever is like covered by L'Jarius Sneed, they're not going to get much. And yeah, just don't do it. Just don't start anybody off of the Packers this week except for Josh Jacobs. It really, really sucks. What up, Corbin? What up, bro? And shout out to Amir. Hey, if you're not using your Amazon Prime subscription on anybody, use it on ours. I'll answer your question in 1 sec. Let me just knock out the Tennessee side of this game because it's going to be very quick. Now to the ugly side of this game. Oh, wait, was that the Packers or the Titans? Yeah, they're both ugly. They're both ugly. Will Levis, sit him. He's a bum.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
I would start Tony Pollard. I'm super nervous about Calvin Ridley, but I'm going to say start him because if they kind of try to make him Debo light, give him these rushes, give him these jet sweeps, things like that, like they did last week that he scored a touchdown on. It's going to be very nice. It is going to be very nice, but we're definitely not starting Hopkins. If you still roster him in just like a regular league, not a deep league, not a dynasty, anything like that, just get him off of there. He's wasting space on your team. He's not the Hopkins of old. Tyler Boyd, same thing. Chigakonkwo, no, I don't want it. I don't want him playing. Get him off of your team. Find someone better. There's got to be someone better. There must be. All right. And let's see. I'm going to say Christian Watson or Alec Pierce. I'll go Alec Pierce. Watson sitting on waivers, bench spot for future games. I'd say Alec Pierce for right now. Bake said Marshawn Lloyd just got put on IR. Emmanuel Lewis's stock is rising. Let's go. Emmanuel Lewis Wilson. Yeah. Definitely don't want to be playing him at all. But yeah, Marshawn Lloyd on IR. Players are dropping like flies, man. Dropping like flies. Giants said, get him, Webster. Hell yeah. That was funny how that one just happened like super organically. But yeah, let's hope he could be a thing. I'll try to get a Webster drop for him. All right. Oh, dang it. You know what? I totally messed up. I totally missed the mark on.
What are you talking about, Willis?
I totally missed the mark on that, and I don't want to go back and record it now. But man, totally missed the mark on what you talking about, Willis? I don't know why Webster made me think of that. 2 different shows. Okay, here we go. Let's keep moseying on down the road. Subscribe if you have not. Hit that subscribe button. The Bears and the Colts. Oh, man. 2 of the quarterbacks that I've hated on heavily. And looks like I was right about Caleb Looks like I was right about Caleb Williams, at least early on in his career and early on in this season. I'm sure things will change someday. I don't think it's going to be this day, though, this week when he's going up against the Colts in Indianapolis. I don't know why, but teams just have a hard time playing in Indy. I don't know what it is. I really don't know. Maybe it's some in the water. Who knows? But Caleb, sit him. Please do yourself a favor and sit him. DeAndre Swift. Man, I mean, the Colts, they are kind of like one of the worst run defenses in the league right now. So Swift, I would say in a flex role, I'm okay with it. DJ, I want to score more. He wants to score very badly. I'm going to say start DJ Moore. He's had 2 really bad matchups to start the season, but I'm going to say start him in this game. This is finally like an okay-ish like matchup for him, not where he's going up against, like Stingley or, just one of the top corners like in the league. So yeah, DJ Moore, we're going to start. Keenan Allen, we got to monitor. Like, he's hurt. He's broken. Okay. I don't want to start him, even if he does play. Roma Dunze, kind of leaning on sitting him like as well, even if he does play. I don't think Caleb is going to do good enough right away to where he's even going to be able to go through progressions. And I'm sure it's DJ Moore's number that gets called the most. And Cole Kmet, if you're starting Cole Kmet right now, oh man, just smack yourself right across the face and don't start Cole Kmet. He sucks. He's a bum.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
Let's get to the other side of the ball. And Giants said, Indy's got a really loud stadium. Hard for the visiting QBs. Okay. I knew it was something. Because is it because it's a dome? Does that make it to where it gets louder because of that? And Jason, what up, bro? He said, what's up, man? Puff, puff, pass. My commissioner of the league just traded Justice Hill for Jordan Mason. Your thoughts? I'd want to punch that commissioner in the face. Like, that's my initial thoughts. Fuck that guy. I mean, I know Jordan Mason's on borrowed time, but yeah, it's a bullshit trade. Like, there's no way that you can not classify that as a bullshit trade. Here we go. Now, let's jump over to the Colts. Anthony Richardson. I'm going to say to sit him. It's not just because he played like trash like last week. And being at home is probably like one of the only reasons why I'm even leaning on saying, like, depending on who you have, maybe I'd start him, but I'm still leaning on sit. Going up against the Bears. The Bears do have a pretty tough defense, okay? I mean, look at what they did last week to CJ Stroud. At least slowed him down a little bit. And Anthony Richardson, he can throw a big old greasy pick, and the secondary of the Bears is very, very nice. The way that the Bears have kind of been slacking this year is with their pass rush and not being able to get to the quarterbacks all that much. So if they could change that versus Anthony Richardson, he's going to be in for a tough time. Jonathan Taylor, I will start. I feel like we're just never going to sit Jonathan Taylor. Michael Pittman Jr. I finally will start him. Over the last 2 weeks, he had Derek Stingley and Jair Alexander, and those are 2 of the toughest wide receiver cornerback matchups that you can have. So I was leaning on the side of like sitting him, or at least like even if you didn't have the stones to sit him, at least knowing that he's going to have a shit game. So you got to, go higher upside guys in other places. This is finally the first game where I feel like I know they have Jalen Johnson over there. I know they got Stevenson. I know they got Kyler Gordon. Trust me, I know all the cornerbacks that they have. Trust me. I still say deploy Michael Pittman Jr. because it's finally one of the easier matchups that he got. The Bears secondary is good as a whole, but they don't have any like super shut down like cornerbacks though. So I'm going to say finally deploy Michael Pittman. And if you're going to take a dart throw, Alec Pierce would be that super late flex dart throw that I am okay playing as well. Kyle Granson, do not play. Mo Alley Smallcocks, do not play. On to the next game. All right. Chargers Steelers. Let's just keep it flowing. Because, yeah, last week it took me way too long. So we're just going to keep pushing through this. Push it real good. Another early game that we got on Sunday. The Chargers going to Steel Town. Let's go. And Justin Herbert, we got to monitor him all week. We must monitor. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, go join our community, a private fantasy community at Patreon at 420crew.com, because any kind of relevant news like that, I'm always posting. You don't have to follow everybody on the internet. You literally just have to follow me, and that's it. And I keep everybody in tune with all the news. And if you're here on the live streams, you're going to get it like literally in real time as we're getting this news. So if Justin Herbert doesn't play, you're sitting everybody. I'm already leaning on not playing too many people from the Chargers in this game. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, they're both sits for me. Steelers, we already know what kind of defense they got. The Chargers faced 2 cupcake defenses in the first 2 weeks as far as like running back, matchups, like just solid, vanilla, crazy, easy matches, whatever we want to put on there. Josh Palmer. Why is he even listed as the number 1 wide receiver over here? Do not play him. Quentin Johnston. I'm leaning on not playing him. I know people are going to want to play him. He still only had like 5 receptions. Just 2 of them happened to go for touchdowns. And it was against one of the worst defenses in the entire league. So I'm just leaning on sitting everybody in this game. And the Steelers, they're going to whoop on the Chargers this week. Chargers, they're notorious for going to the East Coast and not playing real well. I know last week versus the Panthers, might not seem like the case for them, but watch. They're going to go play the Steelers, and they're going up against a really good defense now. And you're going to be happy when you sit everybody. J.K. Dobbins would be the only one that if I was desperate at running back that I would play. And I know there's a lot of desperate people with the running back position. All right. I feel like the more time goes on, I get more chatty when I'm talking about this. I need to fucking speed this up. And Noah, I see your question. Give me 1 sec. Let me do the Steelers. Then I'll answer your question. Here we go. The Steelers. It's ugly. Justin Fields. I don't want to start him. I bet they don't have to do much to beat the Chargers. Najee. He is more of a flex guy than an RB2, and I'm going to lean on even sitting him if you can. George Pickens going up against Asante Samuel Jr. I would say pump the brakes on George Pickens. I know he's the only guy that they have, and that's why I would even lean on playing him as a flex play. But Asante Samuel Jr., he is handling biz over there. He's turning into one of the better cornerbacks in the league. So that's why I'm going to say sit George Pickens. I bet they don't have to do much. And Freiermuth really hasn't been worth starting. So kind of everybody in this game I really don't like. And I bet you that this game is one of the lower scoring games of the entire weekend. All right. There we go. Johnny said, oh, man, what a stinker of a game. Could be a 6-3 final. Oh. Noah said, would you do Lamb and Warren for Wilson and James Cook? No, I wouldn't. Because you're winning in a position, you're losing in a position. Don't do it. You need a more calculated trade than trying to make a fair trade for all parties combined. Bake said, you're a cupcake defense. The voice of the hooker guy from Grandma's Boy. You're a hooker. Kevin Nash. That's who it is, right? Or no. Or are you talking about the other dude? Yeah, the one who actually said, you're a hooker. Jason said, you think Dalton with Deontay? Do you think Dalton starting, I'm assuming, right? Starting, not signing, will make Deontay Johnson fantasy relevant? I don't think so. I bet it makes him better, but I'm not going to say fantasy relevant just yet. All right, let's keep it pushing. Definitely going to boost Thielen. 1,000,000% is boosting Thielen. It did last year. And that was like the only boost that he got was when Dalton was there. 2 veterans getting on the same page. All right. We have made it through the early slate. of Sunday games. Let's get to the afternoon slate. And if you have not hit that subscribe button, shame on you. If you have not hit the like button, do it. Do it now. Do it now. And leave a comment so I know who's watching out there. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. And we got the Dolphins going to Seattle to face those Seahawks. And Skyler, that's the projected starter as of right now. I know people might be like, hey, but they just signed Tyler Huntley. I mean, come on, man. Snoop Huntley, is he really that good? Probably not. Tua, he's on the IR. So anyone who didn't hear the Tua news after getting that El Concusto last week, yeah, put Tua on the IR. And so he's at least there for 4 weeks. He said that he's not retiring, though. I'm not starting Skylar Thompson. I am starting A-Chain. I feel like we can't sit him, like, no matter what. Same with Tyreek. Like, we made our bed with Tyreek. We're sitting in it. Like, Mike McDaniels better figure out how to get Tyreek Hill involved. Now, Waddle's a different story. And I feel like Waddle, he's almost always startable, or almost should be started, even with this bad quarterback situation, because most teams are going to key in on Tyreek Hill. So it should just leave him with better defensive matchups, more openings, more opportunities. So I'm going to say Tyreek Hill, we're not sitting him. Let's just be honest. Like, we're not going to sit him unless you're like in an 8-man league or something like that. You're probably not sitting him. You have to have great options to even warrant putting him on the bench. Jalen Waddle, more of a flex guy, but I will say start him. Jonnu, I don't know about Jonnu. I don't know about Jonnu. I mean, I know that the Seahawks, they're after last week, they look really bad against the tight ends because of Hunter Henry. And I feel like Jonnu, with the shitty landscape of the tight ends, I almost feel like you have to start him because I bet he is going to be an outlet for Skyler. And it's ugly. Oh, hey, I forgot to ask you guys, what do you think about the week 3 starts and sits? The text that I put up there. What do you guys think? Is it a hit? Is it a miss? What do you guys think? And feel free to say whatever you want. I already did it. So, nothing would be changing for this week. But in the future, I can get it changed. Okay. He should get a bunch of screens. Hell yeah. And Alec, David Njoku's a free agent. Should I drop Taysom Hill? Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm okay right now. So the text is dope. I like the color grades. Okay, perfect. So I'm trying to find one that's just going to stick and just be the one. Other side of the ball here, we got the Seahawks and Geno. He's been looking solid. You got to start Geno. Ken Walker, oh man, make sure you subscribe because you need to be hearing about the news that's going on with him, because as of right now, we just have no idea. And Chardonnay, I feel like I am going to start him if Ken Walker doesn't play, but we got to know if Ken Walker is playing or not playing. DK, JSN, Tyler Lockett. Oh man. Deploy them all. Just deploy them all in a game like this, because no matter what, the Seahawks are going to keep throwing. And Tyler Lockett would be the one, I mean, especially after last week. It's like, man, it sucks. Week 1, he leads the team in targets. Week 2, he's like the lowest in targets out of all of them. So I really feel like it's the game script is going to change based on the way that the defense kind of schemes against the teams. And DK, he's just too good to sit. Even if he does get Jalen Ramsey, he can still get some work in the red zone and the end zone. JSN, I mean, he had an insane target market share last week, like what, 37%? And Lockett, not the best, but look at what he did in week 1. So I feel like it could go both ways with all these guys, just, hit or miss. But I feel like the way that they've been throwing, all could have a good opportunity. So DK, he's a start. JSN and Lockett, those guys are flex guys for me, but I would start them in flex roles. Okay. There we go. Oh, man. One of the reasons why I don't like doing starts and sits on every single game is because sometimes we got games like the Panthers and the Raiders. That's what we're going to talk about now. The new news is Andy Dalton has taken over as the starter. Bryce Young has been benched because he sucks, man. He is a bum.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
It's not all his fault because the Panthers just suck in general. Andy Dalton, only in a super flex would I start him, and I still need to be a little bit desperate. Do your due diligence, go pick him up, but I really don't want to start him. Chuba Hubbard, I know that the Dolphins got ran over by James Cook last week, but Chuba Hubbard, yeah, I just don't want him. Like, don't start him. Deontay Johnson, don't start him. Don't start him. I don't. And sorry, hold on. We're going back. Chuba Hubbard going up against the Raiders. I still don't like it. I know the Raiders, I think they're overproducing on defense, but I know they could still be had. But I don't want Chuba either way, or Miles Sanders, or Raheem. Don't start them. Deontay Johnson, it's a decent matchup. I don't want to start him, though. If I'm going to start anybody, it's going to be Adam Thielen. You look at last year, Adam Thielen got a crazy bump when Dalton came back in for a few games. So I would say if I'm going to start anybody, it's going to be Adam Thielen because Deontay Dropson, I mean, he's a bum.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
And I hope you guys aren't starting Mingo or Leggett or Tommy Tremble or anything like that. But if you are planning on it, don't do it. Don't do it. Alex said, Justin Herbert's my backup. Should I drop him for Darnold Geno or keep him as my backup? I'd probably keep him as your backup. I mean, if he's hurt, are you going to be able to throw him into your IR spot? Do you guys have an IR spot in your league? Now, to the Raiders side of things, you got to start Gardner Minshew against the Panthers. Teams have been destroying the Panthers, and so that means you're going to start Devontae Adams. I know they have some good cornerbacks over there, but Devontae Adams is a must start versus this Panthers team. Jacoby Myers, I'm almost wanting to throw him in a flex role as well. Brock Bowers, you're not sitting Brock Bowers anymore. The way that Gardner Minshew has been targeting him, and now going up against potentially the worst team against defending the tight end, Brock Bowers is a must start for sure. And Zamir White, I know it's been ugly for Zamir White, and I know it's been ugly for Alexander Madison. I'm starting Zamir White, more of a flex role, but I will start him. And Alexander Madison, I'm still leaning on not starting him. But yeah, the Raiders at home versus the Panthers, who've been giving up the booty to everybody. Let's go. Deploy. All right. I'm just going to keep powering through this because we're getting closer. Next game in the Sunday afternoon games, we got the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Los Angeles Rams. They are in LA for this game. They are in SoFi. Brock Purdy, I'm going to say sit him. In this game. I bet you there's not a lot of passing going on in this game with Debo being out, and I bet that Brandon Ayuk is going to be guarded pretty well, probably even double team most of the game. I bet you this is a huge running game, George Mason game, and so I'm going to say start George Mason. I'm going to say sit Brock Purdy in a single QB league. In a super flex, I mean, come on, you're probably starting him. Probably got no other choice but to start him. Debo, he's already doubtful. They said he's missing a couple weeks, so yeah, you should already have been known that. And Brandon Ayuk, I'm going to say start him because it's him and George Kittle, and that's pretty much it. And I'm going to also start George Kittle. Juwanna Jennings, I mean, that's like a dart throw flex. And if you need a dart throw flex, I would consider it. But that's about the only capacity that I want to start Juwanna Jennings in. All right, one sec. Let me knock out the Rams here, and then I'll read the chat. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Bakes. Fuck. Jesus. All right, let's go back. Delete the whole first part of the 49ers. Let's go. All right. This game, divisional game, usually a really good game. I think it's going to be really ugly this time. Talking about the San Francisco 49ers going into SoFi to play the Los Angeles Rams. Single QB league, I'm sitting Brock Purdy. Super flex, probably have no choice but to play him. Jordan Mason. It's going to be all him in this game. I feel like this is going to be one of those super grinded out, ground and pound games, and neither team might have to do much to win this game. I mean, the Rams, they're missing players. 49ers, they're missing players. They're missing players like Debo. So I feel like you have to start Brandon Ayuk just because, like, who else are you going to throw it to? It's him and George Kittle, and you really got to play both of those guys. And Juwan Man Jennings, he is a super dart throw flex. That's kind of the only capacity that I would start him in. So if you're kind of desperate for a flex, maybe I would go that route. But yeah, it's Jordan Mason, it's Brandon Ayuk, and it's George Kittle. Those are the three guys that I'm starting. Super flex, you probably have to start Brock Purdy. But if you have a Derek Carr or something, start Derek Carr over Brock Purdy and super flex. Thanks, Bakes. Appreciate that. Sometimes make fucking high mistakes. And what up, Frank? Would you drop right for Corum? Probably not. I drop him for Ray Davis, though. Oops. And who the fuck is George Mason? And why did I say George Mason? Other side of this divisional game here, we got Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Oh, man. And there's going to be no Puka. He's on IR. And Cooper Kupp, they already said he was going to miss a couple weeks. So it's Demarcus Robinson and Tyler Johnson and Jordan Whittington. Kind of don't want to play any of them, but if I'm forced to choose, Demarcus Robinson would be the guy. Remember, also, do not start Parkinson. If you picked him up as a flavor of the week, like last week, just get rid of him because they're going up against the Niners. The Niners do not give up like anything to the tight ends. It's very, very rare. Kyren, I feel like you got to play him at least in a flex role. I mean, if you're in an 8-man league, like maybe not, but 10-man league, 12-man league, you know, with a lot of these injuries and kind of the shitty running back play, yeah, you kind of got to play him. You know, it is what it is. And there's been a lot of talk about Corum, and maybe he's someone that you guys want to go add on your bench. I'm not too excited about it. I mean, either way, it's going to be more of a long-term ad unless Kyren actually gets hurt or something. Outside of that, Blake Corum's not really going to be a thing anytime soon. Maybe second half of the season, but we got some games to go before the second half of the season. There we go. And that's all I got to say about this divisional game. All right, there we go. Bake said second take was a chef's kiss. Appreciate you. Sometimes the second take is better, but I gotta be one take Jake. You know, we gotta be on it. We gotta be on it. And I said thanks, Hash. Trying for some long-term stashes. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. George Mason is a college. Okay. I knew it was something. See what it is? I know what it is. Come on. The weed be letting you know. It's been too long. I'm grinding through this so quick. That, you know, we just need to get a little bit more high. Let's get back in the zone. Let's go get in the zone.
Get in the zone.
And what up, Carl? He said, I think Tyler gets more fantasy points than DeMarcus. Easy call for me. Why? Why would that be an easy call? He didn't get more points last week. And that was Puka already missing. But I'm very curious why you think so. Because DeMarcus Robinson, he's the only guy who's played more than 90% of snaps in both games. And let's go see the targets. Because, yeah, week 1, they get the same amount of targets. Week 2, I mean, he got more targets. You know, it's the Cup show for sure. But as of right now, DeMarcus Robinson has more targets. And they're probably very similar on fantasy points because he's a better wide receiver. I mean, Before 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know who Tyler Johnson was. So, I mean, how good of a wide receiver is he really? And Lennox said Baker or Hurts. Man, this is tough. This is why I hate single QB leagues. I'm just gonna say Baker, man. I mean, especially with Rashad White being hurt, and Hurts doesn't really run like he was in the past. You know, they got Barkley. I'm not saying Hurts doesn't run. I mean, when it was time, he tucked it and ran. But yeah. Frank said Tyler's younger. DeMarcus has had years to prove his explosiveness, but doesn't have it. Well, DeMarcus, let's be very, very clear. DeMarcus Robinson and Tyler Johnson, we would not even be talking about if Puka and Kupp were both there. So neither one of these guys are a thing. They're only a thing for desperate managers who need wide receiver help. Outside of that, like they are both nothing. Both of them are nothing. Let's get that clear. Let's get that clear, because I don't care who the better wide receiver is. DeMarcus Robinson has more rapport with Stafford. He has more rapport with the team, and he's going to be the number one guy with the most targets. Could Tyler Johnson have more points? If one of them get a fluky touchdown, I bet that's who has more that's who has more points. And I don't think that I would say that either one of them has a better shot of getting a touchdown. They actually both have a really bad shot of scoring touchdowns this week. But yeah, they both suck. We're only talking about them right now because the two guys in front of them got hurt. And I know when he was at number one wide receiver, Minnesota University, and led the goal. I mean, yeah, but it don't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like college, we could talk about college till we're blue in the face. That's why Caleb was going to be the best quarterback that ever came into the NFL, right? And what's he looking like? He's looking like he doesn't even belong in the NFL right now. So, you know, like I know a lot of people put a lot of stock into college, but like when you're in college, you're going up, depending on what division or what conference you even play in, the guys that you are going up against, only 1 to 2% are even going to the next level. So most of the time you're a men amongst boys if you make it to the NFL out of college. So yeah, that's why I can't put a lot of stock into how these guys do in college, because everybody's good in college who makes it to the NFL. Is everybody amazing in college? No, but unless you're a quarterback, if you are not good in college, nobody cares anyways. Quarterbacks are the only ones who like could get drafted without even like being a starter. It's fucking crazy. And it's been 2 fucking games. Slow the fuck down on your Caleb rookie QB bullshit. Was I not right to say that Caleb was going to have rookie issues, or is he coming in killing it right now? Very, very easy assessment. Everyone who said that Caleb was going to come in and throw for 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns, 30 touchdowns, those are the ones who don't know what they're talking about, Carl. And I don't know if that's you, but all I ever said to people was pump the brakes on all this. He's going to be the best ever, because who was the best ever before him? Trevor Lawrence. How did he do his rookie year? Not too well. Burrow, before Trevor, best ever. How did he do as a rookie? He got hurt. He was doing okay. But yeah, it is what it is. Carl said Tyler Johnson was a shit coming out of college. He got unnoticed because he was playing behind Chris Godwin and Evans and Gronk and Antonio Brown. And so what? Like now he's playing behind Kupp and Puka, and he's like not. Like he's gonna shine still, because only injury is why he's gonna even get a shot. Bake said Tyler Johnson should overtake the Kupp role. DeMarcus is decent, but defenses had a long time to plan against him. You think people are planning for DeMarcus Robinson? Like, let's be real. Like, if they were planning for this game in advance, they were not planning for DeMarcus Robinson. They were planning for Cooper Kupp and Puka, and now everything changed. So now it's like, go back to the drawing board. And he said, had a long time play against him versus someone with no plans like Johnson. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Remember guys like Terrace Marshall who were just like killers in like college and then they come into the NFL and suck. Like there's a reason why I don't watch college, and so I don't get my judgment clouded by stuff like this. And no one knew who Puka was before he went off. Best ability is availability to McVay. I mean, that's just NFL, man. That's just NFL in general. And Andrew, would you start Lamar or Kyler? I mean, it's hard to sit like either one of them. This why I hate single QB leagues. I mean, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, I'm going to say Kyler, but look at the way that the Cowboys looked last week. And like, if Lamar starts running on the Cowboys, like he's going to be the start. So do I feel like Kyler has a better game? Like probably. And it's because he actually has like, a couple weapons over there now. Lamar, he's only got Zay Flowers and Derrick Henry, and they haven't been running the ball like crazy, but Cowboys have like a shit run game or run defense. So this could be the game for Lamar, but I'm still going to say Kyler. And Bake said, I hope he does well with his new opportunity. I have him everywhere. I do too, but I'm not going to stroke him off like for no reason. I won't do that. I'm going to be a little bit more realistic. And I am and said, I mean, the mock drafts, Caleb was getting drafted super early on Fantasy Pros. I feel bad for those who followed that draft. I feel bad for everyone who doesn't follow me, because I was pretty much the only person saying that you guys need to pump the brakes on all this Caleb shit for a redraft. And like, he's getting drafted as a top 10 redraft guy. Like, come on. And Jay said, how many quarterbacks have thrown for 4K in Chicago? It's the windiest stadium, and that's why Chicago's always been a run-first team. And that's why most people who were praising Caleb, he's going to be a 4,000-yard passer. No, he's not. There's a reason why it's never happened, and it ain't happening this year. And that's literally the rookie hype that fools are on. And but it's because I watch so much college. This guy could have won back-to-back Heisman trophies. Yeah, a lot of guys won Heisman trophies, and we don't even remember their names. If we go through the list of all the Heisman Trophy winners, I bet you there's more busts coming out Heisman Trophy winners than hits. I can almost guarantee it. You know how I know? Because more first-rounders bust than boom. And Giants said Caleb's doing exactly what he did in college. He holds it forever, then tries to scramble, make a play. Shit don't fly in the NFL. Did it in NCAA. Motherfuckers are fast on defense in the league. Everybody is fast on defense in the NFL. Everybody. Frank said DeMarcus Robinson couldn't do shit behind Hill with Mahomes. Yeah, but he did something last year, right? What about last year? Why are you going back multiple years instead of like last year when he had an opportunity and he did okay with that opportunity? Said now he's going to shine and make you eat your words. How? How is he going to make me eat my words? I said he's not going to throw for 4,000 yards. When he throws for 4,000 yards, get at me. I said he wasn't going to throw over 25 touchdowns. When he throws over 25 touchdowns, get at me. Get at me. All you do is repeat stats and numbers. No, I actually watch the games, Carl. And I don't know why you're acting like a clown right now. I don't know. Maybe it's because, I don't know. Maybe you feel some kind of way because you're hanging with another crew or something. But, yeah, either way, bro. Yeah, we're going to, yeah, we can't have guys who are sounding like haters in here looking like mods, because I only think there's people can have different opinions, but let me say. He said how do I pronounce this? Pareko trade Kyler and Ridley for Evans, Dell, and Jaden Daniels in Superflex. Man, I mean, I know it's like trading high on like Kyler, but it's kind of not at the same time. So I don't know. I'm going to say no to that. And Schmitty doesn't like Caleb either, but that's because of his nails. Homophobe, maybe. Yeah, I don't care about his nails. And I'll be sitting here waiting after Sunday for you to acknowledge us. Who are you talking about? Bake said Brock Bowers living up to the hype so far. The new Gronk. I mean, they're targeting him like crazy. He's got a good quarterback who loves targeting the tight ends. So that really helps. That really helps. Frank said, because he's only getting older and did well with that opportunity as a number 2, now be relied on as a number 1. I mean, that's the only reason why anybody would even be considering starting him is for a potential volume play, right? Would it, like, does anybody actually think that like Demarcus Robinson or Tyler Johnson's actually like really, really, really like NFL quality good? Because they were the 3rd and 4th wide receivers on their team. And like, that's not, no matter how you slice it. I mean, maybe you're a JSN or a Roma Dunze, but that's like very, very seldom that the number 3 and 4 are like just like super amazing, like athletic guys. And they're just behind like 2 amazing guys. Like these guys are going to get opportunity based on nobody else being there to be able to catch the ball. They're both going to be bad. Neither one of them is going to be good. Andrew said Carr or Purdy. I'm going Carr. And Jason said, needs to start running more, get the defense confused so he can open it up, rely more on his legs instead of his arm. I mean, see, like he should, but that's not his game, though. That's not his game. Miggy said, should I drop Juan Dale and pick up Naylor? Just wait till I say Justin Jefferson's going to play. If Juan Dale's the last guy on your bench, I'd be okay with that because I'm not really expecting, you know, any kind of like crazy game. Like, you know, like, already looks like Neighbors is just going to be the guy. Like they're just smart, like giving it to him more. And Bake said Caleb's a rookie, should have been benched behind the veterans so he could learn like Mahomes. Too much pressure on his shoulders, not including Hard Knocks. Yeah, and it's really just their line sucks. I don't know why there's Bears fans out there who say, oh, it's a really good line. But no, it's not. Like, and it's showing right now. And it's because when Fields is a run first guy last year, and that's just it. It's like Fields wasn't a good quarterback either. So it's like he couldn't be there to like teach Caleb because he's not even good enough to do it himself. So how could he teach someone else? That's really the thing. Like Bears needed to draft the QB because their entire offense sucked. And, you know, yeah, for you 4-point touchdown, you know, fantasy people, Fields had his day in the sun, but he's not a good NFL quarterback. He's on a way better team now. I'm sure he loves it being on the Steelers now because now he doesn't need to do as much to win because they actually have a good team and a good program like over there kind of around him that they don't need him to run it like 20 times to like keep the drives alive. Frank said, great QB, make average to below average wide receivers serviceable. For sure. For sure. And it's like the opposite for Caleb right now. It's still early. Like, I mean, but everybody, and, you know, when I say everybody, it's just a vast majority of people. Vast majority of people were so hyped on Caleb that it didn't even make sense. So hyped on Caleb that it didn't even make sense. And Bob, what up, Bob? All right. Okay. Bowl. Let's finish this bowl. And then we got the Lions and Cardinals. All right. What up, Elias? He said thoughts on Chiefs running back room. I mean, RN, yeah, running back room going forward. I think it's going to be a lot of headaches. I think it's going to be an ugly 3-headed committee led by Carson Steele most of the time. I think that Hunt wasn't good enough to be in the NFL until a team got desperate enough because of an injury that they even signed him. So I don't think Hunt is going to be like any type of like crazy running back that like, I don't know. Like I think people still think it's 2017 and Kareem Hunt is like going to be that 2017 like running back. And no, he's not going to be. So I think it's going to be ugly. And I think that I would try to trade. If there's anybody who's hyped on Carson Steele, I would try to make that trade, especially in redraft. Giants have to start a couple leagues where I'm gonna have to start Chiefs running backs, and yeah, those are not happy places for sure. For sure, it sucks, man. And Nick AJ, should I trade Gibbs for Chase? Nah. I want to figure out how to get them both on the same team, not trade one for each other. He says so many people spending fab on Hunt's insane. Yeah, and seeing like spending fab is one thing. If you're spending a huge percentage of your fab, horrible. And Perioka, would you sell Neighbors high or keep them? I'd sell high on Neighbors and redraft. I'm assuming that you're talking redraft. Let's see. All right. And a lot of us have known about Tyler Johnson ever since he was drafted to Tampa Bay. Can't believe you're still talking about Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson, as of right now, let me do the math real quick because it's very quick. He got drafted in what, 2020, right? 2020. As of right now, he has 636 total yards in the NFL. And that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, and we won't count this year. So we'll say in 4 years. So averaging 159 yards like per season. And last year, he only had 3 targets, 2 receptions for 8 yards. Did have a TD though. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know why anybody would be defending someone like that. And because I already said it, they're both trash. And Jason said, will Mahomes get back to his 20 point a game? I think the problem is, does he have to for them to win? That's the problem, is because like they're winning and he's not having to do that. And so that's the thing that scares me. It really does. It really does. CB Dizzle, Marvin Harrison Jr., Waddle, Evans, Godwin, ETN, Pittman, Dobbins. Start 3. Marvin Harrison Jr., Godwin. You ain't sitting Godwin. And, man, the last one's kind of tough. I don't want Dobbins, not this week. I don't want Waddle because your other options. Evans has a tough matchup. I'm going to say Evans. What up, Jason? Said Braylon Allen. What about him? And who's spending fab? Well, they were just talking about just someone in their league, I'm sure. Crispy, who was it? Crispy, where were you bidding 69 at?
69, dudes.
And what do you think about Kelsey? Sad starting him weekly. I mean, yeah, you're gonna sit him and he's gonna go off. Like it just, there's no way that it just continues like this. There's no way that it just continues like this. What? He bets you went 69 on Spectre? Damn it.
69, dudes.
And Jay say, think he's a good backup. He's like a handcuff. Like he's okay. He was one of the guys who I said to pick up, but more because of like lack of options. Jason said, Johnny's depressing when you have Mahomes and Rice in your slot. Yeah, for sure. You know why DeMarcus Robinson has a higher percentage of snaps? Because he's a better blocker for Kupp and Puka, and that's why, well, whoever is on the field more usually is going to end up with more targets more often than not. Not everyone's Alan Lazard, and as of now, he has more targets than him. So, yeah, I still can't believe you're talking about Tyler Johnson, who is averaging 159 yards per year and over the last 3 years, if we're including like this year, like 2023 and 2022, he had 8 yards total. 8 yards total. That ain't good. That ain't good. I don't care how you slice it. That ain't good. And hey, Doobie, what up on Twitch? Let's get it. Bob said, so when is Dalton Kincaid going to go off? I don't think he is. I don't think he is. Well, I said, remember to say before the season started, I asked if Bowers had a chance to be top 10, looking like he's going to be top 3 now. Dude, I mean, with Laporta and Kelsey like sucking, like right now, it's like very easy for a guy like Brock Bowers to look like he's going to finish his top 3. If they keep targeting him like that, he will. He will. All right. I got to go refill my water before we get into the rest of these. So if I didn't answer your question, just hang out 1 sec and let me go refill my water. Then we're going to get back to these starts and sits. We only have 5 games left. 5 games left to cover. There we go. I'll be right back. I'll be there. And then we're going to jump over, get these last Chris, we said you see his points at Bernard in several leagues. I saw his points. I shouted him out. I totally forgot about him when I was doing the waiver wire pickups. Totally forgot about him. But yeah, I saw his points. I mean, you got to look at how Miami was running also. You know, he's no Terrell Bernard. He said, I'm sad about Kelsey. I'm pulling a Hunter Henry or Gesicki, whichever goes through for 0. I mean, get him. But still wouldn't start him over Kelsey yet. But keeping Kelsey, yeah, I mean, I would hope so. Don't get rid of Kelsey for nothing. And do you? And why? Who the hell said all this? Who else said all this Caleb Mahomes shit? I'm a Bears fan, and granted, I didn't think his stats would be this bad after 2 games, but even I know he's going to be great. It's not going to be. Yeah, so yeah, Carl, you're definitely the one who was like, man, the Bears have a good line. He may be great, but one thing that I know is the Bears ruin quarterbacks. So till the Bears can prove that they're not going to ruin a quarterback, I'm still saying on the side that Caleb is not going to be this saving grace that everybody thinks. The first quarterback on the Bears to ever throw for 4,000 yards. Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. And yep, so everything is happening the way that I said. I never said he was going to suck. I just said everybody thinks he's going to come into the NFL and it's going to be like nothing has changed. And yeah, Caleb, he's having his rookie woes right now, just like almost every other rookie does. Not sure why Caleb is going to be different in that category, because now you're going up against the best players on every single college team that got drafted in the last 10 years. Yeah, and his O-line sucks. Carl's the only one who thinks that the O-line's good for the Bears. Remember that, Carl, when you were coming up with like some crazy, because I know it was you. Now, I was trying to think, who was the one last year who came up with these crazy-ass stats about the Bears line, trying to come up with justification that it was good? Yeah, Jay said Caleb's benched everywhere that I got him. I mean, if you're starting Caleb right now, especially in a single QB league, I mean, I don't know. You're just being crazy at this point. Let's let him prove it. Even Marvin Harrison Jr., I said, let's let him prove it for one game before he's like a start every single week. And hey, he proved it. There you go. Now he's going to be a start every single week. But he's going to have some bad games, though. He will. Well, I said someone in my league just dropped Xavier Worthy. Hopefully no one snags him up before I do. I'm sure there'll be other people who are going to be putting in waiver claims for him. And a Manster, what up? He said, should I trade Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins, and Kupp for Kamara and Ayuk? I mean, I like it, but also don't like it. Like at the same time, like let's make a calculated trade. Let's make a calculated trade here, because you're giving up Kupp. Cup's not even going to go on IR. So it's like you're selling him like almost like too cheap, like right here as well. Elias said I drafted Caleb super high in the 3 QB league. I mean, how you feeling after 2 games, Elias? Until he gets a better O-line, that will give him more time. Do what he got to do. Well, why is he holding the ball so long? He said that every wannabe analyst is going to kiss his proverbially ass for rookies. Like do the opposite for those they don't like. I don't even know what that means, bro. I don't. What does that even mean? What does that mean? And I said, but at the end of the day, when it's all bullshit marketing because they use the Carl salesman politics. So what are you saying? What are you saying? Because now it sounds like you're not even like, now it sounds like you're okay with people shitting on Caleb because now you say that they have a bad line. But I remember you saying it was you who came up with some crazy stat about, and I know you didn't come up with the stat. I'm sure you saw it somewhere, but it was you who brought up some crazy stat and had to do with the Bears line actually like being good. And I told you way back then it was not good. Uh-oh, Kidda in the house. What up, Kidda? What up, bro? He's playing hero ball, did this entire career. Yeah. Yeah. It was Nigel. Nigel gifted a bunch of memberships on Sunday. And you were one of the people who got it. But yeah, we're remonetized. We're back. And Crispy, Cup is old. Cup's old.
Simmons is old.
And what did Bake say? What did Bake say? Carl's hella salty right now. I'd be salty if I was a Bears fan too. Bears look like straight ass, like out there. Carl, this is for your Bears. They're straight ass. Ass cheeks. Hell yeah, Nigel is the MVP. CB Dizzle said it right there. Bears are bums. The whole team is bums. They're always going to be bums.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
So I'd be a salty Bears fan if I was a Bears fan too, Carl. I understand. I understand why you're upset. That you're a lot of your existence probably is based on like the Bears actually doing good. Kiss, I should have known it was going to be Crispy or Nigel for sure. Frank said, who do you like, Huss? I like my teams, my fantasy teams, because I used to be a Chargers fan when I lived in San Diego. But the owner, the way that they went out when they left San Diego, like it was before they even left, the owner started acting like a bitch when it's like, we're leaving to LA unless this bill passes for the taxpayers to pay for the stadium. And everyone like voted against that shit. They're like, fuck that, leave then, leave. And so just because of the way the owner played it out, I broke my alliance with the Chargers, and I don't like being a bandwagon fan. So yeah, I did not pick a new team to join. So now I'm just a free agent. I'm a free agent cheering for my fantasy teams. Bob said, never talk about being a Bears fan. That's why I play fantasy football. And had you not even said that right now, I wouldn't have even known that you were a Bears fan, because I don't think I've ever heard you talk about being a Bears fan. It's just one of those things. You kind of just keep it to yourself, right? Like, I mean, unless you're like around like some hometown friends or something where everyone's a fan and it's all delusional. Like, nobody wants to get shit talked to because of what team they like, right? And I feel like the Bears just, they're one of those teams that make it like real easy. real easy, right? See, there's just no need. And I feel you. And he said, hi. He says, so rare to see a Chargers fan, but one thing about them is they never take it to heart on the shit talking, so stay leveled, man. Well, yeah, it's because the Chargers have never won anything. They've never won anything. So, like, I don't even know why people show alliance to the Chargers, like, anymore. Oh, man. Yeah. They suck, man. And Kidda, I'm pretty sure Kidda is in the same boat, right? Kidda, you stopped being a Chargers fan, right? After all that bullshit. CB Dizzle, since you're American, you can always be a Cowboys fan. Well, wait, but what's more American, being a Cowboy or being a Patriot? I don't want to be fans of either, but I'm just saying. I love bringing that up because like they're America's team, but nothing's more American than the Patriots. And Frank's, I don't give a fuck about the Raiders. Are the best team, have the craziest best fans too. You know the Raiders are crazy. I know the Raiders fans are crazy. It is what it is, man. They get lit. And Russell, what up, Hustler? He said, have love, T-Law, Carr. Should I drop T-Law for Carson Steele? I would probably lean on yes. I don't think that a lot of people would be hustling to the waiver wire to go pick up T-Law. Especially like after this week when they play the Bills, I doubt he has some crazy-ass game. Is there a team I absolutely despise? No, not anymore. Originally it would be the Raiders. Like that would be my team of that I despise. But it's more the fans, you know, and like there's a lot of cool fans of every team out there, but you know those fans who are just like the crazy ass, like delusional, like fans, like the ones that you can't even talk shit to because like they don't think with like any logic, like those ones. It's like Raiders fans and Cowboys fans. Like for the longest time, I'm always surrounded by them. And it's funny. So funny. And Crispy said, I watched a different video on Tyreek and I stand corrected. That cop was a fuckhead. Just saying. I mean, hey, I'm glad you saw a different version of that, Crispy, because there's so many different versions and so many different angles. And that guy fucked up, man. That guy fucked up. That's all it is. And that's all it is. He fucked up. That's why he's on leave right now. He didn't do the job properly. And it is what it is. At this point, especially is what it is. Yeah, Patriots are the lamest team, man. Fucking hate the Patriots. Yeah, and for the longest, like it's hard to hate on the Patriots now because there's no Bill Belichick. The team's like not what it used to be like at all. But yeah, the Patriots, I'd say if there's one team that I hated the most, like especially when I was a Chargers fan, for sure the Patriots. For sure the Patriots, because they're the ones always fucking winning. Like you had to go through them, man. Fucking sucks. Yeah, Kidda said Tyreek definitely didn't handle it like a pro, but that cop's a nasty person for sure, for sure. And only one person's being paid for that interaction, and the cop's got to be right in their interactions. We can never expect like regular citizens to like, I don't know. Everyone gets pissed when you're getting a fucking speeding ticket, man. Sacks are only worth 2 points. Start Spillane over Okereke. This one's tough. I mean, you're a Raiders guy, so I mean, I feel like that's almost an easy, like, type of like, you know, like thing for you, right? To start Spillane. If it was Bryce Young, I'd say Spillane. Full go. But man, Okereke versus the Browns, man. Like, they're going to be running the ball, like, so much over there. We know Deshaun's probably going to be fucking up. I'm not saying Andy Dalton can't fuck up, but I bet he fucks up way less than Bryce Young had been fucking up over the last couple weeks. So I'm okay playing Spillane over Okereke for sure, but I think I'm still leaning Okereke, though. But Spillane's been killing it. He gets another interception, he might have more points than Okereke, but I know he's not going to get an interception every game, though. Jay said, Eagles I hate because of their fans. Nick said, what's your take on Rachaad White rest of the season? Man, I'm not super excited about Rachaad White, but it's because they're passing. I mean, shit, their passing is going to be the hugest part of their offense. And even though he's going to get a bunch of catches, like I still feel nervous like about that, because when it comes to like grinding the ball out, is White going to be that guy if they're like, you know, winning and, you know, shit like that. So I like him. I'm not going to trade him away for nothing. This week, I'm super nervous about his injury. I want to see what happens with the Wednesday injury reports. But I know there's people panicking on White and like trying to trade him away for nothing. Don't do that. I like him way more than trading him away for like nothing. So don't do that. And yeah, Kidda said, fuck the Chargers. And Frank said, Raiders. Last game in Oakland, we played the Chargers, and the fans were selling blow glued to the bottom of their AF1s. He said, next to a group of cops. Oh, man. Savages. Oakland, baby. Oaktown. Let's go. Where the wildness happens all the time. Oh man, shout out to my dad hits me who just followed on Twitch. I hope that's just a joke. I hope it's just a joke. Throw it in. My dad hits me, and I hope it's just a joke. Tell me it's just a joke. And Liam said, would you trade away Dobbins for Pittman and Christian Watson? You can get both. You can get two of those guys. Yeah, I mean, I know Christian Watson's like kind of like a droppable like candidate, but yeah, I would do that because Dobbins is about to have two shitty games. He's got, and then a bye week. Like after that, he's got the Steelers this week, and then they have the Chiefs the week after that, and then they got their bye week in week 5. So I would totally do that if I could. All right, we got 5 more games to go. 5 more games to go. Nick said Dobbins also seems to get injured every year for sure. For sure he does. So it's like just a matter of time, right? All right. All right, let's see. My dad hits me. He says, how cooked am I? Hurts, Rashid Shaheed, Calvin Ridley, Pollard, Steele, Kelsey, Tank Dell. Well, who's all your injured players, though? Or is it like there's got to be some, you got to have some injuries over there, right? That's what I assume. Debo and CMC. Okay. Yeah, this is a really good week to trade away Dobbins to a running back needy team. Ranked Raiders have dropped Dobbins for week 1 because I thought our D would hold him off, but happy to get him back on the Gus bus at least. He said, matter of time. Tail as old as time. J.K. Dobbins, yeah. Bench, Charbonnet, Debo, Palmer. Palmer's droppable. Lockett, likely. Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, Palmer's droppable. maybe you can get to someone else over there. All right. Let me finish this bowl. And then we're going to get into the Lions and the Cardinals game. I'm going to try to knock out these 5 pretty quick, if I can. Here we go. I want to trade Tank, but I don't know who to. If you want to trade Tank, you need to go find the team in your league that has wide receiver issues and maybe they are running back, healthy. That's who you got to go find them. Shrink it down by narrowing it down and finding the team that needs a wide receiver badly. So what the fuck? Oh boy, what does he have left? Yeah. Roberto, what up? He says, should I accept Rashee Rice and Tank Dell for Chase? Maybe. Do you need wide receiver help? Should I drop Palmer for Chief? You already said you already have Steele, right? Yeah. Finish that sentence and I'll answer. What up, Robert? He said, what do you think about making this trade? I trade Calvin Ridley. I receive Kyren. I'm not mad at it. If Calvin Ridley's if you need to get a running back, I mean, yeah, that's like a pretty even trade. And I probably would do that. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, wait. Now, this should be one of the more exciting games of the second half of the Sunday games. We got the Lions going to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Jared Goff, man, he's been a disappointment. For a single QB, I'm probably not starting him. Superflex, I feel like you're starting him no matter what. Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery. I feel like you're starting both of those guys in a game like this. Jameson Williams, I feel like you got to start him the way that he's been getting the ball thrown to him. And Amon-Ra being a little bit banged up. As long as he plays, we're going to have to monitor his practice. And if he's limited on Wednesday, don't worry about it. Even if he's limited on Wednesday and Thursday, don't worry about it. As long as he gets a full go on Friday, he is going to be good to go. And Sam Laporta, I feel like we got to play him, right? Like, I mean, we didn't come to game 3 to just be sitting him already. And like, if he shits the bed again, you know, I'm sure we're not just going to be starting him just to start him, but I feel like we got to start him. So start him, Laporta. Let's get it. Okay. Now let's jump over to the Arizona Cardinals, who were hitting everywhere at all angles last week. Kyler, you must start him. Single QB, super flex. You better be starting him. James Conner, you got to start him. You got to start him. Even if it's just a flex, you got to start him. Marvin Harrison Jr., I said we just want to see him break out one game, and then he's just like going to be a full-blown start like every single week. I know they have some solid cornerbacks for the Lions, but I'm still starting Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not starting Michael Wilson, not starting Greg Dortch. And Trey McBride, he's like unsittable at this point because like look at what he's doing compared to Kelsey, Laporta, and like all the other tight ends like out there. You got to start him. You got to start him. I mean, the tight end landscape is so bad that Trey McBride's one of those shiny pieces right now. Here we go. All right. And Terrell, start QJ, Deontay, J. Will. He's a bum.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
And I'll start J. Will. Sucks, man. Sucks. Chewy said AJ Brown for A-Chain and Waddle. Nah, I'm gonna say no. I mean, do you really need running back help? I know Waddle's like, I mean, it's a pretty decent downgrade, but do you really need a running back? Is that why you're making this trade? Pate, Mari Cooper, Jordan Addison rest of the season. See, I'm not excited about either one of them. Probably Jordan Addison, but we still know when he's gonna come back. Also, Pickens or Jennings this week. I'll say Pickens. It's ugly, though. I have no Isaiah and Ken Walker III. So, yeah, you really need a running back. Man, that's the only way that you can make this happen. Why don't you trade someone else for A-Chain? Do they only want A.J. Brown? I know you have AJ. I'm saying, but I don't want you to trade AJ away. That's what I'm saying. What up, Dow Mac? He says this guy offered me Jonathan Taylor in a third for James Cook in a fourth. He has surplus wide receivers, so I added Puka. Should I try to get London, Garrett Wilson, Pickens, Scary Terry? It would be Garrett Wilson if you are so inclined to do that. They only want AJ Brown. Feel like you need to get something better than Waddle back. Chewy said, what about Evans for Worthy and Stevenson? I don't like Worthy like that. I don't want to trade up for him. He's not going to be a high volume guy. So a lot of games, you're not even going to want to start him. Here we go. Dang it, forgot about this. Here we go with the last game on the afternoon slate, and it is the Ravens going into Jerry World to take on the Cowboys. Lamar, you're probably starting him. Superflex, you're for sure starting him. Single QB, I mean, maybe, you might want to start someone else. But, I mean, look at what Derek Carr did to them last week. So I'm starting Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry, I'm starting him versus the Cowboys and their bad run defense. Zay Flowers, a little bit nervous about starting him, but he's kind of like the only pass catcher I feel like is a locked and loaded starter like for them most weeks. And so even if it's just a flex play where you put in Zay, start him as a flex. Rashad Bateman, nope. Nelson Aguilar, nope. We're not messing with anybody else. Nobody gets any volume like over there. Like even like Justice Hill, I know people are going to be like, oh, he's going to get a little bit of volume here and there. I'm not starting Justice Hill. Mark Andrews and Likely. This is going to be a question that everybody has every single week. And even though Likely was the guy week 1, I still think Mark Andrews is going to pay more percentage of snaps and get more targets when it's all said and done. There are times where Mark Andrews' old ass is going to get hurt and Likely will be in there and maybe get a couple catches. But I think it comes down to that. It's not just going to be Likely outright. Now to the home team, those crazy Cowboys. Dak, he's been mediocre, right, to say the least, over the last couple weeks. And I'm still going to say start him in a super flex. I almost feel like you have no like options, in super flex, probably going to have to start him. Single QB, though, it really depends on who you have. Because like guys like Baker Mayfield, I'd probably start over like Dak this week. Rico Dowdle, we're not, this experiment, like Rico's almost about to be cuttable in leagues. So no Rico. Zeke, you can always kind of start Zeke because of like the red zone, but he's more of like a flex guy, if anything, right now. CD Lamb, you're starting. Jake Ferguson, we got to see what the hell's happening with him if he doesn't play. Schoonmaker, maybe like you have to be desperate. Like he did get, a handful of points, last week, but I'm not excited about starting him against the Ravens though, specifically. And cause I mean, look what it's ugly. It's ugly when you play the Ravens and deploying the tight ends. And Cooks, I'm just not excited about him. I'm just not excited about Cooks. And Tolbert, maybe a dart throw for like super, super deep leagues, but that's like it. And I know I said that Ravens are usually good against the tight end. Not everyone's Brock Bowers where they're like force feeding it to the tight end. I don't think Schoonmaker is going to get force fed. And that's the last game on the afternoon slate here. We got 3 more games to talk about: Sunday Night Football and 2 Monday Night Football games this week. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. All right. Here we go. And we have made it all the way to Sunday Night Football. Let's hope that this game lives up to the hype, because Patrick Mahomes, even though the Chiefs have been winning and their team has lived up to the hype, as far as fantasy football goes, really the only guy that I feel like we can start with 100% confidence is going to be Rashee Rice. Outside of that, we got no Pacheco anymore. They said he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So what we were talking about on the stream yesterday, we were right with our prediction of what it was going to be. I really don't want to start Carson Steele. I really don't want to start Samaje P. Ryan. If you guys picked up Kareem Hunt and are even thinking about starting him,
But oh no, there ain't no way that that's gonna happen.
Don't do it to yourself, please. Save yourself from yourself and don't do it, okay? Patrick Mahomes, I'm starting in a super flex. I'm leaning on sitting him in a single QB the way that he's been playing over the last couple weeks, and because the Falcons secondary. Falcons have a really nice secondary. Xavier Worthy. The thing that sucks about Xavier Worthy is he scored 2 touchdowns in week 1, and like the people who didn't get those points were chasing those points. The people who did get those points were chasing those points. But he's not even, he's not even being deployed at 70% of the snaps. He has 7 targets on the season. And I mean, really even split, obviously.
Well, obviously.
But I really think that that's where he's going to get capped, though. Like 3 to 5 touches a game. He's going to have to be really efficient. Sometimes he will be, sometimes he won't be. And I'm just going to say sit him in this one. Deeper flex worthy, sure. But I'm going to say sit him unless it's just a dart throw like flex. Travis Kelce. Oh, man. What do we do with Travis Kelce? I'll tell you what we do with him. We give him one more week. We give him one more week before we start thinking about potentially like benching him, because he's just too good, like, in the overall scheme of things. I know it's been horrible like this year. I'm trying to check one thing. Yeah, the Falcons, I mean, they are middle of the road in giving up points to the tight end. Week 1, they don't give up too much, but they're going up against Pittsburgh, week 1. And, like Freiermuth has been like non-existent. But then week 2, they give up a decent-ish performance, to the tight ends over there. And yeah, I think this is going to be the breakout game for Kelce. And I feel it on Sunday night. Come on, man. Sunday night football is going to be the breakout game for Kelce. Let's cross our fingers, because if he doesn't this game, we might be thinking about benching your ass next week. All right, after this game, I'm going to read the chat. Now here we go with the home team, the Falcons. Kirk Cousins. A lot of people might say sit Kirk Cousins, but as of right now, the Chiefs are giving up the second most points to fantasy QB. So I'm going to say start Kirk Cousins. Okay. We're not sitting Bijan no matter what. We already know that. And, if they're giving up a bunch of points to the quarterbacks, they're probably usually giving up some points to the wide receivers, like as well. And we just got to be smart with this. We really do. We really do. Because we got Drake London, we got Mooney, and we got Ray McLeod over there. And if you want to throw Kyle Pitts in the mix of these pass catchers, we can. We can. And as of right now, the Chiefs, they're giving up the most points to the tight ends. So I'm going to say start Kyle Pitts for sure. Start Kyle Pitts. Now, Drake London and Darnell Mooney and Ray McLeod. I feel like I want to start Drake London and I want to flex Mooney. And that's kind of how I would be thinking about that. Ray McLeod, I mean, it's a good story and all that. And he's going to be in there on a bunch of, snaps where they're deploying 3 wide receivers. But outside of that, I think Mooney is going to be the guy that they're going to use a little bit more creatively and should have more targets. And I really don't want to start Mooney's. It's really just a flex play, if anything. And I think they're going to have to throw it a bunch because of the Chiefs, just in general. Anytime you go up against the Chiefs, it's like teams know they're going to have to throw a lot. So let's be ready for it. Here we go. Sunday Night Football. Here we go. Sunday Night Football. All right. And then we got 2 Monday night games. Let me see where I left off. Chewy said I can try to get Stevenson and Adams for AJ. I mean, that's way better, I feel. Drop Keenan Allen for Rome. Probably not. I mean, but I would. Keenan Allen's droppable. I mean, not like just super droppable. You should have an IR spot where you can put him, but he's someone who I would be willing to drop. Someone dropped Keenan Allen last week and this week Rome. And crazy. Redraft, yeah. Bake said Fryermuth, Gesicki, Okonkwo. I mean, I'll go Gesicki because I don't really like either one of like any of those. Do I drop Dak for Purdy full PPR? Well, the full PPR doesn't make a difference, Charter. I like Dak more than Purdy this week. And what up, Jake? He said, what are we doing with Aaron Jones this week, Huss? Have him in my flex or start Jameson Williams, JSN, Zach Moss, Scary Terry. I mean, it's probably going to be Jameson, right? I mean, Cardinals are kind of like middle of the road against there. Who's Minnesota go up against this week? Who the Vikings go up against? Texans. I mean, Texans gave up a bunch of points to the running backs last week, but then the week before that, they give up like nothing. Yeah, I think I'm going Jameson in this one, even though he is a bum.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
You have to have bum-ass fumble by Aaron Jones. He just ain't doing it. Yeah, and I mean, it sucks. It is a new game, though. Like, it is a new game. For sure. All right. Who's the first Monday night football game? Oh, yeah, the Jags and the Bills. We've made it all the way to Monday Night Football. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Do not forget, there are 2 Monday Night Football games this week. Two Monday Night Football games, double the fun. Let's get it. The first one is between the Jags and the Bills. Jags are going to Buffalo. Going to be a tough matchup for these Jags. Trevor Lawrence, single QB, sitting them. Superflex, I'm still leaning on sitting him. Travis Etienne, man, it's going to be a tough game. I mean, I know A-Chain did his thing last week, but Travis Etienne doesn't seem like he's A-Chain. But I'm going to say start him because it's ugly for running backs right now. Christian Kirk. I don't know if we get a bounce back game from him this week, but I'm going to say start him in a dart throw flex capacity. Evan Ingram, we have no idea what's going on with him and that hamstring of his. So sit him, unless things change. And unless you're trying to get some Strange, in your life, you're not really going to be starting Brenton Strange either. Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas Jr., I really do not want to start those guys at all. And even Christian Kirk, I dart throw, okay? Bills, they're giving up the least amount of points to the wide receivers, okay? So Kirk is literally just a dart throw guy this week. It's going to be ugly for the Jags going into Buffalo. It really is. All right. Let's jump over to the home team. And first, we're going to talk about Josh Allen.
Wild Stallions!
I mean, you're playing them, right? What more to say? Jacksonville, they're giving up top 10 numbers to the QBs. So we play Josh Allen. Now, James Cook. I mean, after a week like last week, it's going to be tough to sit him. But I will say that the Jags, I think it's because the quarterbacks are doing so good that the running backs really haven't been eating on the Jaguars. They're giving up bottom 10 numbers in points given up to the running back. So do that with what you will, because I feel like everyone's starting James Cook after last week, right? I don't think I'd have the stones to sit him. But the Jags, they are very, very shisty in giving up points to the tight end. So just the Jags are very, very shiesty in giving up points to the running back. So just remember that. Just remember that. Now, for the wide receivers, they have been giving up a bunch of booty to the wide receivers. Is this the week that I want to start Keon Coleman? I don't think so. Is this the week I want to start Mac Hollins? I don't think so. I think the only guy we're starting, and this is like, flex worthy, contention, is going to be Shakir. We know that sooner or later Keon Coleman's probably going to break out, but he's getting punked by cornerbacks out there, just like he was in the preseason. So I kind of want to sit him until further notice. I want to see him do it, and then I'll consider getting him in there. But even going up against a weaker cornerback, room, I still don't want to start him, man. I'm too nervous. You want to get goosed by him again? I don't. So we ain't doing it. Don't start him. As of right now, he's a bum.
He's a bum. He was a bum then, and he's a bum now.
And Dalton Kincaid, last one here. Jaguars have been giving up like no points to the tight ends. Like, I know they played Seattle and they played Cleveland, and not really the best like tight ends, but they've given up like the 4th lowest points to tight ends, and that could be because of the teams that they played. So just if you're starting Dalton Kincaid because there's no other options, like I don't want to pick up some bullshit waiver wire tight end, I'll just play Dalton Kincaid. Just make sure that the players around them shoot for the moon with those guys, because Dalton Kincaid, I'm not expecting a big game out of him at all. All right. One more game. And these these Tuesday and Thursday streams, they've been hitting for like 4 hours. Let's see. What'd Bob say? Oh, the first game was against the Bears. I don't even know what you're talking about at this point, but he says, never mind, I'm high. I like it. And Bob said, I'm about to drop Kirk. That team is so washed. It looks so trash. Like right now, right? I mean, the defense is looking good in certain aspects of it, but it's like that offense looks so trash. And Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights, what up? Dow Max said Keon also hasn't done much, but much better offense. So maybe Keon for a sooner breakout. That's a tough one, though. Yeah, and I mean, just I don't want him to hurt my team. I really don't. And the thing with the Bills is like, man, they are so good that it's like they could just go up and like not need to throw the ball all that much. And like if the Jags can't keep pace, Josh Allen might not have to throw it an insane amount. And Dalton Kincaid or Hunter Henry. I feel like the volume's safer with Henry, but it's a bad matchup like as well. I mean, the Jets, they're actually giving up less points to the tight end than the Jags are. And the Jags played Kittle and then the Titans, who have like no tight end. But even then, the team with no tight end scored more than the team with a good tight end. So yeah, I would start Dalton Kincaid. But I don't like either one. Literally 2 of the worst matchups that you can have for a tight end this week on paper with how much the teams are giving up to that position specifically. Okay. Here we go, baby. Let's get it. We'll do the Commanders first. And then we are done. Woo! Long stream, guys. I've been streaming since 7:10 West Coast time. Grinding out here, baby. Grinding. And I could do this behind the scenes, and I could probably do it way quicker. I for sure would do it way quicker. I would not spend 4 hours on this video if I was just recording it straight. But I like doing it this way better because I still get to have the morning show. I still get to interact with people. And then I don't have to wake up at fucking, or film through the night. I used to film in the middle of the night doing this shit. And the shit's for the birds. Okay, here we go. We made it. We made it all the way to the last Monday Night Football game, because we have 2 Monday Night Football games this week. And we got the Commandos going up against the Bengals. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is, I don't know which matchup is going to be better out of the first 2, but I'm excited about this one. Now, Jaden Daniels, single QB. I'm probably not starting him unless it is one of the 4-point, passing. And I guess that is like the most popular, for the casual people out there. So maybe you will start him there. The Bengals, they've been pretty tough about giving up points to the QB. So I'm really not super excited about starting him. I mean, super flex, I'm probably going to do it. But single QB, I kind of just want to go a different direction. Now, running backs, Brian Robinson Jr. I'm going to start him in a flex. Maybe it just depends on who you have like on your squad, because the Bengals, they haven't been pushovers as far as the running backs go. And I'm not really super excited about playing Austin Eckler, either. So those are both kind of like flex guys to me, and it really depends on who you have on your team. Oh, now Scary Terry. Oh, man. Scary Terry, Luke McCaffrey. We're just sitting them both. I don't want either one of them in this game. It's probably going to be a very low-scoring game on both sides of the ball. And I don't want to start anybody like versus them. I really don't. And then the wide receivers and then the tight ends. The Bengals are literally giving up the least amount of points to the tight ends. And they played New England and they played Kansas City. They played Hunter Henry, who balled out last week, not so much in the first week. And then Travis Kelce, they held him down for one of the games. So, yeah, we're definitely not starting Zach Ertz in any capacity. It's a rough matchup this week for Washington. It really is. So, yeah, let's just bench everyone that you can. Maybe a B-Rob or an Austin Eckler if you need a flex guy who gets a couple of receptions. But, yeah, I'm nervous about playing anybody in Washington altogether this week. Bengals, they may not be the best offensively, but they've stepped it up defensively. Last one here. We did it. We made it through. This is team 32, and we made it through all 16 games. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't turned on the notifications, do that now. If you haven't hit the like button, do that now. Washington is going to be one of those teams you want to start everybody against, because guess what? For the QBs, the points that Washington's been giving up, they're only giving up the most QB points, out there. So you're definitely going to be starting him. Now, Zach Moss. We saw last week Devin Singletary got a touchdown. You know who's giving up the 3rd most points? 4th most points is what it looks like to running backs? Washington. So we're going to start Zach Moss. I'm not saying start Chase Brown, but I bet you this is the Chase Brown breakout game. I bet you it is, because teams literally do whatever they want on Washington. For the wide receivers, man, I mean, it sucks that we don't know what's happening with T. Higgins. And if T. Higgins comes back and plays, I'm going to start him and Jamar Chase. You know why? Because Washington is giving up the 2nd most points to wide receivers right now. Like literally anybody and everybody is doing whatever they want to the Commandos. They're caught with their pants down right now. The Commandos are, for sure. And even Yoshi, do I want to start him? No, I don't. But if Higgins doesn't play and I need a dart throw, flex guy, Yoshi would be that guy, because who's given up the 2nd most points to wide receivers? It is the Commandos. Now, Mike Gesicki. If you need a tight end, I would say go ahead, get Gesicki with it. Washington's kind of like middle of the road. It's like they give up so much booty to the running backs and the wide receivers. It's like teams kind of don't even need to deploy the tight end like against them, because they're doing like so good. So Gesicki, there's way worse matchups out there. So I would be willing to start him. It all depends on who you have. But like I said, it's a middle of the road type of matchup. We made it. We made it all the way to the end. I cannot believe it. If you're watching this on replay, go check out all the waiver wire videos. If you're watching this live on Wednesday morning, make sure you guys go check out all those waiver wire videos. And I'm sure some of them will be popping up like right now. So subscribe and click one of those videos that's popping up right now. Click it. Woo! Did it. All 32 teams, all 16 games. We did it. We did it. Someone tells you that they're the hardest working person in the fantasy football space. You say, no way. You're not outworking the hustler. Make sure you guys do me that favor. And what up, Ken? Would you trade Caleb? Yes. Talking about how trash he is. I don't know who'd want to buy him, though. You talking dynasty? Is it a dynasty or redraft? Giants said love his practice, and that'd be pretty neat to get him back. I mean, that'd be quick. That'd be quick. You know, he's probably right behind Marvis Harrison Jr. Career rise 1 round earlier. Oh, yeah. What up, Bronny? Someone offered me Neighbors and Steele for Rashad and Devonta. Should I accept this offer? No, don't do it. Frank said, first year with this new league with my bro and his coworkers. Seems like no one is high on any rookies. I don't watch college, but I do pay attention to the draft process. Yeah, and there's some leagues where, like, nobody is on rookies. Like, I mean, I feel like we play in competitive enough leagues now where, you know, people are definitely on it. People are definitely on it. But no, because when I used to play in leagues where it was, you know, like your work leagues or whatever, like shit like that, I remember nobody went for running backs. And I remember 2017, it was like I drafted Fournette and like CMC like all hella late. That's not like CMC really, you know, I mean, Leonard Fournette, I'm pretty sure did better that year than CMC because CMC didn't even score any touchdowns as a rookie. But yeah, it was like I had so many good running backs. It was like, fuck, can't even play all these guys. Donovan, what up, bro? He said start Reek or Shaheed. I'm still going to start Tyreek. Let's figure out another guy to throw in over Shaheed. I just traded more in a 5th for Brian Thomas and a 3rd. I definitely felt good about that trade. In Dynasty, yeah. Dynasty. I've got Burrow and Fields. Don't do it in Dynasty. No. Redraft, I would say trade him away in a New York minute. Dynasty, don't do it. You'd be getting shit value for him right now. Don't do it. Don't do it. You want this is, you know, these guys are humans, okay? Like, let me just throw that out there first. But we think of them like stocks. You know, we really just think of them like stocks. And it's like when the value's up, that's the time to sell. When the value's down, it's like when we really have a feeling that these guys are going to be better than what they are proving right now, you hold for the time that they are doing better. And then if you want to trade them, then you get way better value. But that's what this comes down to. Like, you don't want to trade Caleb when he has shit value right now, especially because you have Fields and that's kind of saving you like right now. What up, Hunter? Pierce or Wandale? Pierce. And just a reminder, I know that no one's playing Dameon Pierce, but when I see Pierce, I have to think for a second, like, dude, is this motherfucker really talking about starting Dameon Pierce? I'm like, no, Alec Pierce. So just do me the favor, guys, you know, especially like right now, 4-hour stream. I'm a little, not brain dead, but I've been talking about all these different players and like the wheels in my head are just like going crazy right now. So just a reminder, guys, just remember, throw in a first name or a first initial sometimes. I know it's easy to put just the last names, but I appreciate it. It helps me sometimes. Or Tyler Johnson. Pierce. What up, Andrew? Said Nick Cross has been lights out for the Colts. Hell yeah. Do I start him ahead of Javon Bullard or Kyle Duggar? He's going against the Bears this week. I like Nick Cross versus the Bears because they should be running it a bunch. I mean, I feel like that's like something like in the game plan where they're going to keep running it more. And he's just been a tackling fucking machine, man. Like, we're talking about the ultimate type of tackling fuel. And yeah, Nick Cross, he's like one of my huge pickups last week. for, you know, going into week 2. Another huge pickup this week going into week 3 for all these fools who haven't picked them up yet. And yeah, and Andrew, I'm on YouTube and shit right now too. Jump over to YouTube and subscribe there, because on Facebook, you probably don't get a lot of notifications when I go live. But if you go to YouTube, it's Fantasy Football Hustler. Go subscribe over there, turn on the notifications. I'll be like your biggest resource all year. All year, could guarantee it. And it said fumbling the ball and more. Some owners still play. Yeah. Oh, there we go. And what AJ? Chewy AJ for Pittman and A-Chain. I guess I'm just. Is there anybody else that you could get that's equivalent to Pittman? Because of Richardson and because of some of these matchups that he has just right in his division, I'm not super high on Pittman. Yeah, Cross has been so good that it's affected Kenny Moore for sure. For sure. I mean, shit. Cross got 15 total tackles last week. 10 of them were solo. It's like, dude, he is out there killing it right now. Cross is doing so good that it's affected Zaire Franklin a little bit. And like EJ Speed has been doing so good that it's affected Zaire Franklin a tiny bit as well. Someone just dropped Bynum for Cross, beat me to it. Bynum went off last year. Should I put in an offer for him? Yeah, I mean, who would you be dropping? But yeah, for sure. I feel like Bynum will turn this around. Let's go see what his snap percentage has been. Yeah, Bynum's still holding true with his percentage. He's over 81% last game and 96 the game before. I know that sounds weird, but like every single one of their safeties, for whatever reason, played less snaps in week 2 than in week 1. I don't know why. Like snap percentages, it doesn't really make sense. Oh, maybe it's because Blake Cashman and Yvonne Pace Jr. played more. So this was a defensive thing. This was a defensive scheme thing. Interesting. Yeah, Cashman played 99% of the snaps. Grenard played less snaps. Van Ginks played more snaps. Hell yeah. Harrison Phillips played more snaps. Tillery played more snaps. Interesting. Bake says start crossover Okereke in the flex. Man, why you got to get so spicy? Man? Because I feel like Nick Cross is a must start right now. How is there nobody else that you like? How is Okereke like in the flex? I dropped A-Chain after week 1 last year. Yeah, that stung. I bet. Probably someone like Marshawn Lloyd or Vidal. Also got Dallas Turner and Latu, but I'd rather keep them. I mean, if it's redraft, I mean, just get rid of Vidal, man. I mean, and Marshawn Lloyd, didn't they put him on IR? So you have an IR spot so you can put him in. Rue, what up, Rue? He said back to Nick Cross. He said start him over Duggar or Bullard or put him in the IDP flex over Pace. I'd put him in the IDP flex over Pace. Yeah. I'd do that because I like Duggar. I like Bullard. They've been killing it. Big sets of vanilla home league 1 IDP flex spot. Okay. He said home league is slowly being converted over the dark side. Hey, good job. Once you get one, it's like way easier to get that to keep bumping up. So yeah, that's the hardest is always getting the first one. And like, even like with my work league, like when I, back when I had like a normal job and shit, like the first year we didn't have defense at all. And then the second year after that, I was like, we're putting in defense. I was like, we're only going to start 2 players. I was like, that's only 24 starters out of like 500 available players. And then the next year after that, then we bumped it up to 4. And then I think the year after that, we bumped it up to 5. And so just little, Oh, it's Dynasty. I want Cam Bynum though. Like, this sucks, man. I don't think Vidal's going to be what everybody kind of thinks that he's going to be. That's what I would do. Giants said still go. Kariki's on the field so much. I mean, Cross plays 100%. So, like, that almost can't even be, like, you know, used against him, right? I mean, I guess he played 99% of snaps last week. He didn't play literally one snap. But, yeah. Lipsy said, all my good running backs are out. Should I trade Neighbors or Collins for a decent running back? If you were going to trade one, I'd trade Neighbors. Don't trade Collins. He's killing it right now. As me, the Giants offense. Yeah, for sure. It's horrible. It's horrible, man. It's terrible. All right. 4 hours in the books. Appreciate you guys. Drop Trey Benson for Deontay Johnson. I mean, Deontay Johnson has more value than Benson right now, but he's still going to be trash, and Benson's just a handcuff. But I would say, yeah. Let me shout out all of our producers of the show, all our 420 Crew Patreon members. You guys are the shit. Our ultimate priority member, Mr. Justin Pickle in a Jar. We got our all access members, our elite members, our 420, our superstar members, and our 420 Ride or Die Crew members. You guys are the shit. I appreciate you guys. It's because of you that we're able to do this show multiple times a day. Let's go. Let's go. Lipsy said, who's a good target for Neighbors than like ETN? Well, you need to go find something, like narrow it down. Narrow it down. Instead of me just saying, go look for this person. Narrow it down. Go see who in your league really, really, really needs wide receiver help. Start there. Start there. And then if you're going to be looking for a running back, narrow it down farther. The teams that need a wide receiver, plus have good RBs or a good amount of RBs where they can sell one to you. And then instead of being like, you know, you're looking for everybody and anybody, then you kind of got it narrowed it down to like maybe 2, 3, 4 teams, you know, something like that. Then it's going to be a little bit easier to know who you should target. And then come back. You got the question after that. Come back with what they have and who you would target out of those options. Giants said, I like Lloyd more than Vidal for the future for sure. Yep. Giants said, yeah, dude, definitely more in the offseason. Yeah. Quinn, what up? Do I trade Pittman to receive Debo? I'm 1-1. No, because Debo is going to be out for a few weeks. So this would be a horrible time to trade Pittman for him. I would say if you're going to buy low, that's one thing, but that's not buying low. All right. Getting up out of here. We'll be back. We'll be back this afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, depending on where you are in the world. If you haven't got signed up and joined our Patreon private community, go do that because you could join for free. But I do recommend joining as a paid member because you get a lot more perks being a paid member than just being a free one. It's 420crew.com. One more time for you, 420crew.com. Go sign up. And we'll see you over there. We got private chats over there for paid members and raffle tickets for being a paid member. We're going to have a raffle here towards the end of the month. I just got to figure out what jerseys we're going to raffle off. But it's always a good time. And just like our man Frank Rader says, don't forget to bring a towel. We'll see you guys a little bit later today. Peace out.
Defense on me.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night. If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.